Good evening and welcome. This is the CSA T20 Challenge. My name is David Midgley and alongside me is the indomitable Hussein Manak. We are bringing you this live action between the DP World Lions and Gbets Rocks. Good evening to you, Hussein.
Good evening, David, and to all our viewers, listeners around the country and wherever you may be in the world as well. To our vibrant, energetic Wanderers. It's just come alive suddenly, isn't it?
Absolutely, as the band strikes up and we're ready to go full yun with the first ball of the game. Oh, a good start there from full yun. Good line and length. There's a little bit of green on the surface here, so maybe looking to extract it off after they decided they would win the toss and have a bowl.
Yeah, I mean, interesting that just looking at the teams as well, the balance of the teams, the Lions choosing to go just with the one spinner, which may be an indication of the pitch. You mentioned a touch of greenness around it, so it does certainly look like there's green tinge from where we're sitting, David, and perhaps that may be the reason they're going with actually five seamers, because they've got Mulder in there, who's an all-rounder, and Jones as well, two all-rounders who are proper bowlers, and then Fortain's the solitary spinner in the side. Rabada, Mapaka, Moreki, it's loaded.
Yeah, absolutely, and a new adventure for Captain Fortain, round the wicket. Oh, and that'll be runs. That'll be runs early on, just tucked off the pads, but it will be signalled as leg byes by umpire Gasa.
Yeah, touch on the straight side here from Huddersfield. He's bowling around the wicket, so with the angle, he's got to be careful he gets his line right. Perhaps maybe you want to start it, touch outside off stump and still look to hit off stump. Can't afford to get too straight here with the fine leg up especially. There's a deep square leg on the boundary. So the two men out, the deep square leg, and there's a sweeper out on the point boundary. Those are the two men back.
And again, down the leg side, it's a wide this time. It's rare from the experienced Hardus Yun. He's been around the game for a long time, but a little bit wayward from him to start.
Yeah, that's so important for bowlers to just find their range and get their line and length up from the start, especially in T20 cricket. Your margin for error is very small with regards to wides, and umpires, of course, very strict.
That's just a marvellous shot, over pitched, bang down the ground, and it's the first boundary off the bat. 4 runs.
Beautiful cricket shot. That was a touch full and again a little bit straight, but just leaned into it, full blade of the bat, back down past the bowler, and get good value for your runs here at the Wanderers.
Any coach would be happy with one of your first scoring shots being an on drive, and Ryan Rickleton happy to oblige, coming off a wonderful SA20 season. Oh, that's taken a little bit of, well, I thought it took something, and maybe a faint noise, but the umpire signalled wide, and another extra in this first over.
Yeah, he may want to think about coming over the wicket, especially, I mean, this angle's not helping him because, you know, the ball is swinging into the left-handed Rickleton, so perhaps maybe, if I was the skipper here, I'd tell him, you know, just come over the wicket, change the angle a bit, and because those balls sliding down leg are not helpful.
Another one. A shouts of catch it there. They declined the run. Goodness me, that had Clyde Fortain at full stretch.
Now this is the big over. It's already 16 off it and only 3 legal deliveries bowled. So it's a costly over. And in the 20 overs, David, what teams generally look for is, can we somewhere in those 20 overs get 2, 3, maybe 4 big overs, like 20 run overs?
Especially in the power play, the fielders are up in the ring, barring the 2 that are out, and so you want to really capitalize on that early. It's a bit of a stark contrast from the last time these two teams played each other in a game that was actually completed for CSA T20. That was in Gqeberha, where all the games were played in the friendly city, and at that time it was a very different Lions side, the Rock side, comprehensive in their performance that day. Strays onto the pads, is whipped away, and they'll get 2 comfortably in the end. A bit of a scamper there, but comfortable nevertheless.
Yeah, good running from Rickleton, coming back for the second. And Again, Falloon strays into the pads. And again, Rickleton clips neatly behind square on the leg side. 18 for no loss. 5 balls, legal balls bowled.
Masterfully defended, just aware of that gap square on the offside, and after a marathon first over, we're all done with one. It's 19 without loss.
Good start from the Lions. It's exactly what you want. Just get off to a good start without losing a wicket. And very often teams will have some sort of target where they want to be more or less in at the end of 6 overs, and generally it would be around about 40 to 50. They can get to 50 for no loss. I reckon that's a decent start, but getting 19 of your first over certainly helps you on your way.
Well, another Monarch is now going to be involved in the game. Imran in his wonderful pink and lime green here of the Gbets rocks. He can be a bit of a bother with that height of his. Extra bounce, extra nip. Is decided to dispense with the slip, the long off in place, and a man on the mid-wicket boundary. It's important here for a good start from the off-spinner. And not quite the ideal delivery to start, but he's maybe a bit fortunate there with that one.
Yeah, he gets away with the loosener.
A much better delivery there. And this opening partnership for the Lions is so experienced. They've been around domestic cricket for many a year. Just immediately sets off. There's a chance for the run out, but I think he'll be safe in the end.
Yeah, managing to squeeze a single. They've got, well, to the left-handed Rickleton, it will change now, but they had 4 men in the circle and offside, and then mid-off was back, and then the other one was under the scoreboard. Go now to the right-handed Reza Hendricks. They've got a nice little circle on the offside. So there's like a short third man, there's a backward point cover mid-off. Those are the 4 fielders, and the 2 on the boundary are long on and deep mid-wicket.
Happy to just tuck that away, and I think that's going to be crucial in this competition, is teams able to find the gap and just know when to go and know when to maybe just tickle it for one and get to the other end. That's the experience of these two. They don't necessarily want to go hammer and tongs at everything, especially since the first over was so productive for them.
Well, about every dot ball here is gold dust, especially in the power play, because batters are looking for anything they can jump on, latch onto.
So much better over than the first one. It's 2 gone, and we've flown through that one. 21 without loss.
Now just 2 runs of that over. So they've pulled it back nicely here, have the Rocks. And another spinner into the attack. By the looks of things, who's marking his run out, unless I'm mistaken, David. Let's have a look. Is it Mahima bowling?
Yeah, he did well a couple of seasons ago for the Rocks, and I think they'd want more of that success for him. But it's not always easy to get off to a flyer as a spinner here. You've got to look to try and contain rather than maybe dominate the batters here. Cow corner is out for him, and long off as well. Mahima, a little bit of width there offered to Reza Hendricks.
$21 for no loss.
It's a lovely shot on the top of the bounce, back foot punch. Wonderful timing for.
That's a good cricket shot, isn't it? Quality strokes. Scintillating timing, and the ball whistles away. I mean, it was minimal effort, really. Just a neat little punch through the gap.
It's a good comeback there from Mahima. Good. He needed to make amends for that one. Not that it was too much of a wayward delivery when he did get dispatched. Riza Hendricks been in wonderful form, but I just feel like people just expect him to do a lot worse than he actually does. Negative type of association with him sometimes, and I think it's unfair to him because he's had an incredible T20 career, both at this level and at the international stage as well.
Yeah, indeed. I tend to agree with you. T20 games change so much and so quickly, hasn't it? I mean, even if you look at just the last year or two, the way it's changed. I mean, batters at one stage were happy to, or would look to score at a strike rate of 120, maybe 130. I mean, now in T20 cricket, if you're under 130, 140, you need to pick it up a bit. So the expectations are high.
He just knows exactly where the fielders are, does Ryan Rickleton. And that's the end of 3. 27 now without loss.
Yeah, so they're flying through their overs here, Paul Rocks, because 2 spinners bowling. Now there's going to be another bowling change. So they're bowling 1 over spells at the moment. And this is the other thing about T20 cricket. At one stage, I think a bowler took 2 overs in 50 over cricket just to warm up or just to loosen up. So captain would throw in the ball and then he takes an over or 2 just to loosen up and get going. And now he finds his rhythm and settles in. I think T20 cricket, you've got to get used to bowling 1 over spells. You've got to be on the money. On the button from ball 1.
Very little room for error, especially at this level of the game. Change in the field. Mahima going to that fine leg position. But Rickleton, no doubt, with the man at deep square, will be mindful of that leg side boundary. He's got a man out square on the offside as well, so very square, maybe some shortish stuff. Bang! That's exactly where he goes. Up and away at 6.
Fresco Adams just dropping it a touch short here, and Rickleton was so quickly onto this one. He absolutely jumped on it. And that's a shortish boundary. If I'm not mistaken, I'm just having a look at where the strips are. They're playing on the one closer to the scoreboard. So that's a short boundary. And I think any opportunity Rickleton gets as a left-hander with bowlers from this end, and he just goes through with it, he's going to look to clear the boundary. There was absolutely no intention there to try and keep the ball down. Clearly aiming for the maximum and got it.
Extra width there, but that's probably the better option for Fresco Adams here, is to try and utilize the men that are sweeping there. You always want to bowl to your field, and if you're going to give them a run, well, rather let it be to the man that you've put out there for exactly that shot.
So right hand on strike, and the field will change. The 2 men out are square the wicket, 2 men on the boundary. And remember, in this format, T20 cricket, the first 6 overs are power play overs, and only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle.
Oh, just helps it on its way over Mahima's head. That's just a gentle little nudge, but it really just flew off the bat.
Too straight from Fresco Adams on this occasion, too straight and too full into the pads, and Hendricks, as you say, just helps himself there. But he picked it up nicely, didn't he? Almost played a little ram shot, but it wasn't premeditated. It was basically because the ball was down there, he picked it up beautifully over the short fine leg. 1 bounce into the boundary. 38 for no loss.
Almost a copy and paste shot. A little bit square this time. The result is the same. It's 4.
Again, too straight from Fresco Adams, and it looks like the quicker bowlers with a little bit of pace are taking a little bit of punishment. Ardis Viljoen bowled 1 over. He went for 19 runs. And Fresco Adams is about 4 deliveries. He's conceded 15 already.
looked like he floated that one. A little bit of a slow delivery, and hands on heads there from Adams, because he knows he nearly had his man. Nearly chopped that one on, but runs nevertheless.
That's the thing about the Wanderers. It sometimes a little bit of grass might give you the impression that ball's going to fly around, but also comes onto the bat nicer. So, you get your length slightly wrong, your line slightly wrong, margin for error is very small. Batters can just hit through the line beautifully up on the high field. With the altitude, ball flies.
Just try to slice that one down. Fine of third man, but he finds the fielder. It's the end of 4. It's 43 without loss, and they're going at 10.7 to the over.
Yeah, clever bowling from Fresco Adams, and that's what he does well. I think his skill set, if you look at the way he generally bowls, and also where they tend to play most of their cricket on the coast in Paarl and in those areas, bowls a lot of slower balls, mixes his pace up really well, disguises those, and the last 2 deliveries are slower balls, and you can see batter's almost through with the shot, and not easy to get hold of those, because as a batter, when you're already down, your bat's already on the way down, and then you've got to slow down.
Mahima continues from the call-it drive end, and he's the first person to get a second over in the game thus far.
Long spell.
Absolutely. I think crucial here for the Lions is that they're not letting these bowlers settle. They're trying to rotate the score as much as possible, left-right combination. Ask them about the consistency of line. Oh no, an inside edge that'll race away down to the fine leg boundary, but Hardus Fulyun, the big fast bowler, able to rein it in.
He backed away here, didn't Rickleton? Backed away, and looked like he was trying to give himself some room and go over the offside. Mahima did well. I thought he followed him into the pads, and fortunate inside edge for Rickleton.
Again, just hit it on the top of the head there. I think he's, like you said, he's looking to go through the offside. There's nobody out on that offside, so he's looking to give himself room. That's a glorious stroke. He's just hit it dead straight, and that'll race away to the boundary. Another 4, and that brings up 50 up for the Lions.
Yeah, beautiful cricket shot again from Rickleton. Again, looking to be positive. Was initially the previous 2 deliveries looking to back away, give himself some room, and this time he just stood his ground, hit the ball down the ground. Foolish delivery from Mahima. So Hendrickson 17, Rickleton on 22, and that's the 50 partnership.
Oh, what a shot. It's gone high in the air, but it'll go all the way into the 3rd round. It's 6!
Explosive batting here from Ryan Rickleton. He's the man down there, so chance his arm just a little, and for a split second as he hit that, I thought, has he got enough on it? And he did. He cleared the long on and into the stands, 3 or 4 rows back. So they're stepping it up now. These 2 scoring at a healthy run rate now of 11.6 to the over.
Oh, very fine. Just got a tickle on that, did Rickleton. Back-to-back boundaries, and that's the end of Mahima's over. 5 gone. It's 60 without loss.
Expensive over, that one from Mahima. Also bowling quite quickly at the moment, and I mean, you don't blame him. It's not easy as a bowler sometimes in this format, especially in the power play. If a batter's seeing it well and he's hitting it well and timing it sweetly, you're almost in a hiding to nothing, aren't you?
Very few bowlers are able to get through their overs as quickly as the skipper for the Lions, Bjorn Fortuin. Very good with ball in hand in this type of environment, but Imran Manak with a very quiet first over, looking to continue that joy for him. Much better lines and lengths here from Manak. Just good control of the ball.
He's quite tall, and you mentioned that early on, that because of his height, he gets good bounce, and not easy for batters to go after him because he'll hit you high on the bat. long as he gets his length right, not easy to get away.
Another wayward delivery there, wide ball. The extras have been killing the Rocks team. That's the 12th. 11 of them coming from the first over, but it's 11 too many, the coach might argue. Much better line there from Manak. Much better line.
Long off his back and mid-wicket under the scoreboard. So these are the two fielders out. I want to try and get Rickleton to hit either to one of those two.
Just a punch rather. In between a bunt and a punch. But he gets to the other end comfortably. There'll be a change in the field for Reza Hendricks. Everybody on the offside is in the ring, and the man at mid-wicket jogs out to the boundary. So long on.
Which means his line's going to be very tight. No width outside off stump.
He came across there, did Reza Hendricks, clearly looking to seek out that man at the mid-wicket boundary. Or maybe try and hit it over his head, maybe a little bit squarer.
Maybe squarer. I think maybe looking at the scow between the two fielders, looking maybe for a cow corner in that area.
Comes down the wicket this time, trying to upset the line and length here, more so the length of Imran Manak. He doesn't want him to settle, he just wants to get to the other end. And if you can't get a boundary, get to the other end. Mistimed that completely. I think he wanted to hit it on the offside, but they come through comfortably for 2 in the end. And that is the end of 6. We're absolutely flying through this. There's one more over and then we'll have a commentary change. 65 without loss after 6.
Yeah, that's a good over. Another good over from Imran Manak. Hendricks on 20, Rickleton on 33. The bowling figures as they are. Perisco Adams, 1 overs, 1 over naught for 16. Hardus Leon opened the bowling, 1 over naught for, is that 16 or was it not 19? I'm pretty sure he went for 19 in that first over.
That was very expensive.
Just double check that. And then Imran Manak's bowled 2 overs. I think he's gone for 7 runs, hasn't picked up a wicket yet. 65 for no loss. Hardus Leon is back into the attack.
I'm not quite sure where they want to put Imran Manak down at fine leg. He's very square, and with the angle, you might think he would come a little bit finer, especially with the amount of wides down the leg side that Fulyoun had. Nevertheless, it's a much better length there from Hardus, and just the one down to the man at long on.
Yeah, so Fulyoun is now 1.1 over naught for 16. So he went for 15 of his first over. And then Mahiba's bowled 2 overs, naught for 23, the left arm spinner. So it's been a mixed bag from the Rock so far. They want to try and just pull it together now that they're allowed to push fielders out. 5 fielders out on the boundary outside the 30-yard circle. Fulyoun, he's in.
Oh, just wonderfully timed there. Square the wicket. There's a man there to clean things up, but he just opens the blade, does Reza Hendricks, to get that one away.
Yeah, well played. Yorker length delivery outside off stump. Neatly carved away through the offside by Hendricks. And I was just having a look, David, with this Lions side. I mean, the experience in this side. It's almost difficult to compare the two teams. They've got like 8 internationals, the Lions, and all of them back because it's a World Cup year. They all want to play and get into the thick of it.
He comes well across his stumps, does Reza Hendricks, but Hardus Fulyoun maybe trying to attack there, but another wide, and the 13th extra of the innings thus far.
That's naughty, and it's one thing you want to try and restrict as a bowling unit. Don't think the bowling coach will be too pleased.
151 games for Hardus Fulyoun.
Played here at the Lions also for a few seasons and did very well.
And another wide. This is becoming expensive from Fulyoun.
Oh, he's battling to control the swing at the moment. Previous delivery was it looked like a slower bouncer and got it wrong down the leg side. This one tried fuller, swinging delivery, shaped away, but too wide. Yeah, 14 extras in the first 6.2 overs. Not good.
No, not at all.
Gifting runs away.
Oh, what a glorious stroke. It almost looked like it should fit on the golf course. Just picks it up off his toe. over backward square leg, and it's 6.
Yeah, he's really picked us up beautifully off his pads. It was full, it was straight. That's the short boundary. So Viljoen just not controlling things. That wide ball swinging a little too much for him. Almost looks like he just needs to find his rhythm. I feel like he just hasn't found his rhythm. I mean, we watched him here and we commentated on the 4-day game here when they played. It was just 2 weeks ago. And there was one spell he bowled with the old ball towards the end of the Lions innings.
Up in the air.
Ooh, that's high.
Looks like there's a man coming under it. Will he take it? Comfortable, and it's a crucial wicket for the Rocks. It just hung in the air for an age. And comfortable in the end underneath it. That's the first wicket down, 76 on the board.
Yes, and it's a big wicket as well. And Viljoen got this one right. He got it in a good area. It was back of a length. Reza Hendricks trying to hit this over mid-wicket, somewhere over the leg side. And it was either top edge or he just got under it too much elevation. Ball went straight up. And that's a good catch under the scoreboard there, because it hung in the air for a long time. So first wicket falls, 76 for 1.
You spoke about the experience that the Lions have, and then Temba Bavuma walks to the wicket, 117 games under his belt, and looking to perhaps re-establish his name in the mix for the South African side for the T20 World Cup. Struggled a little bit in green and gold in this format, but the acreage ahead of him in terms of the opportunity to perform, some guys leaving for the IPL after a couple of games, so really a good opportunity here for him to make the most of this competition.
Absolutely, it's always nice to come in early as well, and you've got at least 10 or 15 overs to bat. So Bavuma is still a right and left-hander at the crease. Now that always makes it difficult for the bowling unit. We've seen all the extras, the wides, and just to be able to keep adjusting or have to keep adjusting your lines makes it that much more difficult with a swinging white ball in your hand. So Bavuma, fine leg back, third man back as well.
Quickly wanted to set off. He wasn't interested in sticking around. But sharp fielding there in the inner ring.
I think in this period they're gonna just look to run like crazy, knock balls into gaps and run. And Bavuma's quick, so is Rickleton. They're going to try and see if they can get as many twos as they can, particularly the longer side of the boundary here. But boundaries, they'll jump on every opportunity they can get.
Nice way to end the over. Just the single from it. And at the end of 7, it's 7-7 for 1. And thank you, Hussein. Ken Borland's going to join me. Let's give you a quick update of what else is going on in this CSA T20 challenge. Western Province are playing the Dolphins, and Province are 54 for 2 halfway through the 7th over. Bedingham and Dezorzi, the men dismissed, with Verena and Bird at the wickets together. And in the other game up north at SuperSport Park, the Titans are 42 for 1 against the Dragons. Makanya is the man out. Brevis and Moonsami are at the wicket. So 42 for 1 in that game at SuperSport Park. I'm joined by Ken Borland. And Ken, what have you made of the first little foray into CSA T20 Challenge?
Well, so far, pace off seems to be working best here at the DP World Wanderers Stadium. So no surprise to see Imran Manak is continuing. He's bowled very tidily so far, 2 overs for just 7 runs. And this will be the 5th over of spin inside the first 8. Oh, beaten. Bavuma beaten by, I would say that's the one that just went straight on from Imran Manak.
Yeah, I'm sure a nod of approval there from the senior statesman to the younger player. Quick change in the field now. Deep square leg for the right-handers in the ring. So a change there. Mahima now being sent to fine leg as Viljoen goes to short third. There's a deep point, a long off, a long on, a deep square leg, and mid-wicket moving towards Cow. So everybody barring Mahima out on the leg side.
Bickleton just bat onto pad, dribbles away for the single there. It's, I say pace off because the 2 pace bowlers who've been used so far, Hardest Viljoen 2 overs for 27. Frisco Adams 1 over for 16. Hardest Viljoen has got the 1 wicket to fall. Reverse sweep comes out. He's going to beat Mahima, I think. Yeah, it's not Mahima, it's Viljoen now, who was at Mnyaka at short third man. And a very good boundary by Themba Bavuma to get his innings going.
Isn't that just quintessentially Themba Bavuma? It doesn't have to be flashy, it just has to be effective, and that's the brilliance of the long-time servant here at Lions Cricket.
Too short. Bavuma is put that away behind square for 4.
And you just spoke about the spinners being miserly, but Themba Bavuma has other thoughts on that.
That was a really bad delivery by Manak. The first one he's bowled deserved to be punished. And Themba Bavuma was onto it very quickly. He's gone to 9. That's nicely bowled. Tossed up outside off stump. Bit slower. Had Bavuma reaching and groping.
Not much footwork offered there by Themba Bavuma. Like you said, he was just leaving his hands hanging out there. And with that, a change in the field as a man comes into the point region, backward point region, and the man who was deep comes a little bit straighter.
Tossed up even wider that time, and that deep point sweeper will do the fielding. And you can see that's what Manak wants Bavuma to be doing. He's playing through the offside. Maybe he'll get one to turn through the gate, but that's the end of the 8th over. 88 for 1. So easy calculation, 11 runs and over. I was just saying, Hardest Viljoen, the only man to get a wicket so far in this innings, and even that was with a slower ball.
Yes.
So Frisco Adams, also his better deliveries were the slower ones, caused a bit of problems.
Well, the DP World Lions opting not to go with a second spinner this evening. Instead, they're going with almost all-out attack with their pace bowlers. Moreki and Mapaka, Kagiso Rabada. There's just so much on offer for Bjorn Fortuin. He really doesn't have to search too far to find quality with ball in hand. Akona Mnyaka gets his first opportunity in this game.
Yeah, bowling the 9th over of the innings. Unusual to see so much spin in the power play, but the Rocks playing to their strengths, I guess, and I think that's what the Lions have done as well with the composition of their side. Mnyaka coming in to Themba Bavuma. Pulls that over. That's gone wide of mid-on, and it'll beat cow corner, and another boundary for Themba Bavuma.
If there was ever a postcard that had Themba Bavuma's favourite shot, that probably might be it. That and the pickup pull over the top, but a glorious stroke from South Africa's darling in some respects.
I don't think he got all of that either. It didn't make a great sound off the bat, but it was begging to be hit, and it got the treatment. Mnyaka's got a cow corner, a deep square leg, a long off in place. That's better, and Bavuma will work that for single thoughts of a second, but Manak is in quickly enough. So, David, it's interesting that in day-night games here at the Wanderers T20, the team batting second has won 16 of the last 20. Which tells you that batting first is definitely a disadvantage. But the Lions are off to a very good start here. What do you think they need to get just to ensure themselves against that historical disadvantage of having to bat first?
Well, the only completed game between these two sides had the Lions all out for 116.
Nicely forced by Rickleton off the back foot, but the sweeper will field. That was down at St George's Park,
yes,
though. Probably
yeah.
very different
conditions. Yes. I would imagine somewhere north of 180, 200, especially where they are at the moment. You normally double it where at the 10th over?
No, I think with such a good start, 94 for 1 halfway through the 9th over,
220,
and given that chasing has been more successful here, again the inside half of the bat We've had a few French cuts, Chinese cuts, call them what you will, in this innings so far. None of them have been fatal. Bavuma moves on to 16. Yeah, I'm thinking 220 the Lions will want to get just to be safe.
Nyaka now coming around the wicket to Ryan Rickleton.
Bit of a heave from Rickleton. Again, didn't get all of it off the bottom half of the bat, and it'll just be one. Takes him to 37, 96 for one.
Yeah, Ryan Rickleton seems to find the purple patches wherever they may be lurking, and having come back from that ankle surgery, that he's not Mr. Trick all that much, Ken, because he's just found that the white ball stuff, at least this summer, has been his joy.
Nicely played by Bavuma, waited for it well. Ryan Rickleton, the leading run scorer in the recent SA 20, opening the batting for my Cape Town. And it'll be interesting to see if he employs the same go hard from the outing tactics for the Lions as he did for my Cape Town. He's spoken about how for my Cape Town, him and Rassie van der Dussen opening the batting, they had the insurance of a lot of power coming after them in Pollard, Brevis, George Linder, and interesting that this Lions lineup has got Rassie van der Dussen at number 4 and not opening with Ryan Rickleton.
Yeah, I thought with the decision that those two opened at Betway SA 20 that they might be persuaded to go with that option, but there's so many options for opening for this DP World Lions side.
Manek continues, Bavuma, he's got all of that, that's going to go all the way.
Absolutely glorious stroke. He's just cleared the front foot and hammered that away. First ball, bang.
Michael Copeland, the bowler, his first delivery, it was just nicely tossed up in the slot, wasn't it? And Temba Bavuma enjoyed putting that over the fence. 100 up off just 61 balls for the Lions, so it's one ball quicker than their first 50 runs.
Just a bunt too long on. They've got to be careful that they don't get pulled over by Metro cops for the speed that they're going at the moment, Ken.
Yeah, 11.1, but as I said, they know that they've got to be aggressive, bat with a lot of intent, batting first. It's a beautiful summer's evening. It's been hot today. Giving himself room, Rickleton, and then powers that high into the second level. Here at the Wanderers, same level as we are, just a little bit further along. What a mighty blow.
What a shot. Stand and deliver. Copeland under some serious pressure here as his skipper, or rather Yanaman Malan, jogs over to have a chat with him. He's absolutely muscled it, and Ken, I might think we should call for the helmet up here.
Yeah, well, the Lions have identified that Copeland is the sixth bowler. The Rock's just trying to get a couple of overs out of him, and they've attacked him immediately. Again, giving himself room. He's mistimed that a bit as Rickleton. That'll just be one too long on.
Nearly cleft his partner in twain there. Good evasive work there by Temba Bavuma. But as you rightly said, they've found the weakness in the armour, so to speak, with Copeland, and climbed all over him.
Bit short, but he gets away with it. You could see Bavuma set off very quickly on that first. He was thinking of two, but Imran Manak is quickly enough to the ball to stop that.
Quick turnaround for these sides, and especially the Lions side.
Again, the slog sweep again, not perfectly timed by Rickleton. He's made his way to 45, but maybe been at his absolute 100% most fluent. But it's still been a very good show, certainly. 113 for Wonder Lions at the halfway stage.
And I wonder if, coming back to that opening option for the Lions, I wonder if they will just rotate who takes first guard for them during the season. Because, like I said, they've got so many options in Hendricks and Rickleton and Bavuma, and even, as you mentioned, Rassie van der Dussen.
Any of that top four could open the batting. They've all done the job to very good effect in the past. Siyabonga Mahima and Rickleton with the song sweep as he picked up, deep square leg, no, over his head. 6 more. And that brings up Ryan Rickleton's 50. His golden run, especially in T20 cricket, just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's been a marvellous start from him in this competition, and what a way to get the competition underway with the performance that he's had, and I'm sure the Lions will say, long may it continue.
More flight, that time from Mahima, powered. Hit so hard by Ryan Rickleton. Bavuma's coming back for the second. He did well there. He recognised that long off was on the ground. Had to almost put in the dive to stop that one from Rickleton, and was in no position to get a strong throw back to the bowler. Again, launched. Has it cleared long on? Yes, it has. Just over his head.
And he's hit that to the longer boundary, Ken. So it shows the timing that Ryan Rickleton has. Another 6, and it almost looks like the Rocks bowlers are struggling to find an answer to these two. And but you could argue that it's not really slogging. It's timed cricket. It's effortless almost.
Again, the slog sweep by Rickleton, but this is just one to deep square leg. The Wanderers can be a tough place for spin bowlers in white ball cricket, and the Rocks playing to their strengths with choosing 2 frontline spinners. But at the moment, in the back half of their spells, they're finding it tough going against the on-fire Ryan Rickleton in particular. Nicely driven for one by Bavuma. He's raced to 26 not out with just 15 balls. It seemed like he only came in a few minutes ago. It's been 15 minutes. He's off to a really good start as Bavuma. They'll look for 2 here. Yeah, definitely with the misfield.
It's like a jackrabbit is Timber Bavuma. Just exemplifying to every youngster that may be watching how important it is to run the first one hard. Even if there's no opportunity for a second, it just makes a massive difference.
End of the 11th over, 131 for 1, and Rickleton and Bavuma have brought up their 50 partnership of just 23 balls, and they've added a bit to it now. 55 for the second wicket, following it on 76 for the first. So the Lions have made just the ideal start here. For Risco Adams, who's one previous over, cost 16 runs. I imagine he'll probably only bowl 1 over here, and then we'll see him bowl a couple at the death. Oh, it's a bad start. Too many wides from the Boland team this evening. Starting right from the outset. Hardest Viljoen's opening over. I think there were
11
extras.
11
Four
extras.
of them were leg byes. The rest were wides. 19 off the first over. It just is absolutely the wrong way to start a match.
Wrong way to start a competition as well.
Yes. But short, Bavuma's heaved this straight to the man. That fine leg. Out.
Well, there's the answer exactly that the Gbets Rocks needed. Tried to just help it on its way, it did Bavuma, but a comfortable catch in the end. Happiness is for the Rocks. He's gone for 26, caught Christian Jonker, and Risco Adams can exhale ever so slightly until he sees who's coming out to bat.
That'll be Rassie van der Dussen, no doubt. Yeah, I think Timber Bavuma almost hit that too fine. If he'd actually just tried to play a more conventional pull shot between square leg and fine leg, perhaps he was deceived a bit by the pace of the delivery, but Frisco Adams mixes up his pace very well indeed. But that's a very welcome breakthrough for the Rocks. 132 for 2 in the 12th over. And Rassie van der Dussen now comes to the crease in really good form. He's been one of the best batsmen in the Pakistan Super League, which is ongoing, and playing a slightly different role than we often see him. He's coming in at number 4. He's coming in the 12th over. Does sometimes take a little while to get going, but he is a boundary hitter once he's seen a few, isn't he, David?
He is just class, especially in the white ball stuff. He's just been exceptional since he made his debut for South Africa, but he did all the hard yards down at domestic level before he got that call up. So especially with his partner at the non-strikers in Ryan Rickleton, they put 200 on the board for my Cape Town in one game, and that was, well, if to say it was a demolition job would probably be polite, but a different game, a different competition, and a different context to the game.
Van der Dussen will be off the mark with a single first ball. They're a good combination, Rickleton and Van der Dussen, right and left-handed, of course, but also Van der Dussen, the sort of guy who's good at manipulating the ball, getting ones, putting his partner on strike. Rickleton is the destructive stroke player, the boundary hitter, and I'm sure they enjoy batting with each other.
Quite a lot of vacant land on the leg side. Deep backward square and cow corner out. Just fine leg in the ring and mid-on the onside.
Again, a good change of pace by Frisco Adams. Ryan Rickleton read it, but he waited and just still didn't have the pace to work with.
Doesn't matter that it's T20 cricket, you still have to be patient. Keeping the fielders busy, making sure they get their step count in this evening. These Lions batters. Yes, they have lost 2 wickets, but the pace at which they've been batting is phenomenal.
Another one, another wide. So that's the 12th wide. I think
17 extras, Ken. 17 extras.
12 wides is 2 extra overs already, although some of them were 4 wide, so
yes.
Yeah, it's not quite, but yes, it hasn't been good from the Rocks in that respect. Nicely driven over cover point. There's protection though.
Some exciting cricket in prospect for this competition. Just a shift in the usual calendar, Ken, because traditionally it would have been the CSA T20 challenge that gets us underway in the season, but deciding that this competition would come after the completion of the 4-day competition. Maybe just managing some players.
Overpitched and skied by Rickleton. Valiant effort. Running from the cow corner boundary by Yaneman Milan, but he just couldn't make it. It's one bounce and over the boundary, but a bit of a half chance there presented by Ryan Rickleton. Just on that scheduling, David, the reason would be the T20 World Cup in just a few months' time. The Proteas management wanting the country's players to play as much T20 cricket as they can before that tournament. Oh, it was overpitched, but a very good change of pace by Frisco Adams, wide as well, and that has beaten Rickleton to end the over. 140 for 2 after 12 overs, and it is great to see quite a few players in this match who are going to be in contention for that Proteas T20 World Cup squad. I think we're all very much looking forward to the second innings of this match when Kagiso Rabada, the great Kagiso Rabada, could well share the new ball with the young up-and-coming Kwena Mapaka.
Yeah, it's a delight or a delicious meal in prospect for the Lions, if you were to use a hunting metaphor. Long on is back, as is the man sweeping on the cover boundary, third man, and deep square as well as car corner. Oh, now they've changed their minds. Long on up and long off back.
Quentin Mapaka, of course, a left arm quick, and it's the Rocks left arm quick, a corner Mnyaka, who's returning to the attack. Mistimed by Van der Dussen to that mid-on who just come up.
Yeah, just back turning in the hand there. He's just having a look at his own grip. Here's Rassie van der Dussen, wondering where he may have improved the option there. But I think credit must be given to Mnyaka for that delivery.
Oh, it's the big heave, and it's been edged between the wicketkeeper and the short third man. Away for 4. Lucky runs that time.
You could probably describe it, Ken, as living by the sword. Just had a massive hoik at that, did Rickleton. Outside edge. Nowhere near where he attempted to place that shot.
Yeah, living by the edge of the sword, I guess. Takes him to 71, though. That one he gets. And it'll be one bounce and misfielded by the man at cow corner. He kind of got too close to the ball. And then misjudged the bounce. Christian Jonker, it all got a bit awkward there on the boundary.
He might find himself being fined by the team a little bit later. Arguably a parachute opportunity there, but the ball, like Cheslin Colby, gave him a bit of a sidestep.
Straight up in the air. Deep square leg is under it. And has taken a very well judged catch. So Akona Mnyaka would have been feeling a bit down on his luck. An edge for 4 to third man. A boundary conceded at cow corner, which really should have just been one. But the next ball, he gets the wicket around Rickleton for 75 off 39 balls.
It was a great innings from Rickleton. Got the Lions off to the start that they needed. Really was foot on gas from the very beginning. He's gone for 75, and it's a good catch by Keegan Peterson. That one had snow on it when it did eventually come down. And 2 balls away from the end of the 13th. It's 149 for 3. Mitch van Buren. Not really the youngster anymore in this side now that Mapaka's in. 41 matches under his belt. He's averaging 30.7, a strike rate of 127. But he's been a valuable cog in the middle order for the DP World Lions for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah, he had a decent SA20 for the Paarl Royals. Definitely one of the up-and-coming young batsmen in South African cricket. Important job now because Van der Dussen is there on 3. He's just got in. Van Buren has to join him. We're in the 13th over, 149 for 3. The Lions will be disappointed that Rickleton didn't bat through, go on to 100. And it's just very important now that they don't lose this momentum. They're scoring at 11.8 runs to the over. So all the momentum is on their side at the moment. They just want to make sure now that they keep that grip on this game, as Mnyaka is sending his mid-off a little bit further back, not all the way. Fine leg will drop back to the boundary to join a deep square leg and a third man and a cover sweeper.
And immediately off the mark. I think that's been a highlight for these Lions batters, is when they've come to the wicket, immediately they've tried to get to the other end.
Well, it's a good delivery. Sorry, David, it's a good delivery by Mnyaka to a new batsman. But Van Buren good enough to get a 1 out of it.
150 in the 13th over. going at nigh on 12. But as you mentioned, that the 2 wickets falling fairly close together means that the Rocks have now an opportunity in front of them in order for them to try and shift the momentum and the slope of this game, because it almost felt like it was a 90-degree free fall at one point.
Oh, that's well bowled. There's a bit of bounce there from Kono Miyaka. The 5 seamers in the Lions attack will have sat up in the change room and taken notice of that. A bit of bounce there.
Probably none more so than Kwena Mapaka.
Yeah, same style of bowler. 150 for 3 after 13 overs.
Mahima will now finish his spell. He's gone wicketless for 41, so he's been expensive.
Began well, as did Imran Manak, the frontline spin bowler.
And looks like a change of fielder as well. Looks like Sean van Berg is on the field, off the field. There's 2 men behind square on the onside. I think it looks like van Berg will have a bit of a rest. Not having his bib on. Probably giving the umpires a little bit of an itch.
Too short by Mahima. The cover super's got some work to do. He does well. Through they go for 2. Van Buren joins Van der Dussen on 3. And I think we might see that for a couple of overs from the Lions now, just trying to keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Maybe a little bit of consolidation so that they can set a nice platform. There's 7 wickets in hand, and big hitters in Jones and Mulder, who's had a very green patch of late.
Nearly got himself into trouble there, Van Buren, with the Mahima arm ball, trying to create something out of it. It's good to see Evan Jones back in the Lions team. There'll be 1 to log off. Evan Jones, the first edition of the SA20, had a very good tournament, more as a hit-the-deck bowler who could bowl cutters and take the pace off. But he's also, as you mentioned, he's a very punishing batsman when he gets going. Hits a very long ball. And then, of course, we have Vian Mulder, who made the SA20 team of the tournament, but based mostly on his batting. Just a little push forward there from Van der Dussen. Mahima dropped it shorter, and Van der Dussen able to get 2.
And crucially, it means that Vian Mulder's allowed himself to play in a sense of comfort, because arguably he's a batting all-rounder and hasn't yet had the opportunity, or maybe hasn't taken an opportunity to excel as he perhaps would like to.
Yeah, I think batting probably Vian Mulder's strongest suit. Still a very useful bowler though, when conditions suit. On the full, but a good stop, great stop at cover.
Overthrows in the end, meaning that they get through comfortably. And after a bit of chaos, 14 gone, 1, 5, 6 for 3, and I'm going to make way for Hussein.
So the Gbets Rocks winning the toss and electing to bowl first. The stats show that batting second is an advantage in day-and-out games at the Wanderers. The team batting second has won 16 of the last 20 day-and-out games here, but they made a bit of a horror start with the ball, and the Lions have raced to 156 for 3 after 14 overs, with Ryan Rickleton scoring 75. Reza Hendricks made 28 and Temba Bavuma 26. And welcome back to Hussein Manak. Hussein, what are the Lions looking at here for the last 6 overs?
Well, I think they're pretty comfortable. They keep going at this rate and pick it up from here. They're looking set for 200 plus, right? I mean, I think the highest score here, the Wanderers, according to, if I'm correct, is 207 for 5, which the Cobra scored against the Titans in 20 overs. That batting first. So, this outside of stump. And I see Van der Dussen has a bit of a slash. Third man is up, so even a thick edge could easily fly past the third man. Am I correct? If you pick that up as well, 207. I'm picking up his highest score the Wanderers in a T20 game. You're 207 for 5.
I think that'll be domestically, yeah.
Domestic, yeah, in 20 overs. So that would be the CSA domestic T20 challenge. And I think Lions look like they're pretty set to surpass that at this rate. Adams in. Van der Dussen uses his feet and doesn't quite make clean contact, and a lovely effort here from behind the stumps. He looked like he may have been in Van Buren. He took off straight away. So they're scampering runs at the moment. The run rate achieved is 11 to the over. And already into the 15th over. What do you reckon? What, 210 to 20?
Nah,
maybe more?
I think 220. I think to be safe, you know, given the start, they're already scoring at 11 and over. They'll bank on some acceleration in the last 6. Just need to get these two in, get another partnership going, and then they can really go big at the end with wickets in hand.
I've got some big hitters. Mulder certainly can hit it a long way. So can Evan Jones. So can these two. Slower delivery through the covers. And he's a man on the boundary. So at the moment, if the Rocks can contain, and when I say contain, just restrict the boundaries, and the 1s and 2s won't hurt them too badly at this stage, because as you said, Lions already scoring at 11 and over, so Rocks can concede singles here. They're doing a brilliant job at the moment, especially heading into these last few overs now. Frisco Adams from the Corlett drive in he comes. This one is driven down to long off. It'll just be the single again. That's all they're looking to do at this stage. And very often we're looking to bowl dot balls in 50 over cricket, and sometimes string together dot balls in the longer version of the game. But in T20 cricket, bowlers that are really smart just look to get a single, get the batter off strike, 1, 1, 1. And it doesn't allow a batter also to line you up as a bowler.
And also the situation now just shows you the importance of taking wickets. That because they got Rickerton out, because they got Bavuma out, we just now have this little period of 2 new batsmen at the crease, just taking 1s and 2s, and a bit of respite for the Rocks bowlers.
Absolutely right. Uses his feet, does Van Buren, tries to go across, and he's looking for the short boundary, but that's well bowled by Adams. He saw him early and pushed it even wider outside off stump. So at the moment, as you say, a little quiet period here. And we've also seen this before, where sometimes the batting side are start off really well, and then I expected to pick it up, and towards the end the bowling side get it right and bowl good areas, and then it doesn't dip, but it's, you know, there isn't that finish that you expect, the climax. And here comes Frisco Adams. Van Buren crunches this down to wide mid-on. Will again just be the single. The deep mid wicket comes around. So this is a good over from Frisco Adams. And let's see, is he done? No. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 29. 160 for 3 at the moment, Ken. 15 overs bowled. Van der Dussen's on 8, Mitch Van Buren on 6, and as you say, 2 new batters at the crease, which doesn't make it that easy. But in this format, batters are expected to come in from ball 1, get cracking, right? There's no getting your eye in and all that stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see what you said you're saying about it just being a little bit quiet now as you enter the last 5 overs. Whether this is a bit of a new ball pitch, maybe as the ball gets older it gets a bit harder to score. We'll have to see if these two get a partnership going, whether they can score more fluently or not.
So Imran Manak back into the attack. He's bowled 3 overs not for 17. He's probably been their best bowler so far if you look at economy wise. So can he continue his good work? Bowling from the golf course, and this is hit straight to the man at backward point. It'll be a dot ball, gold dust in the last few overs.
Bit edgy, that shot from Van Buren off the outside half of the bat.
He's looking to go inside out there. Manak outside off stump. This is cut away. It will just be a single again. This is man on the deep point boundary. Sweeper. And again, just a single. So, well, the Rocks are doing well here, restricting the 1s and 2s. And Lions will want to try and find a way to just pick up the boundaries. They've got a vastly experienced player at the crease. Rassie van der Dussen, what can he do? He's got under this one. There's a man back and long on, but it's not going to reach him. It's on the bounce. Again, just a single. This is good bowling. They're managing to string together, Ken, 2 overs here of just singles and dots. And the pressure looks to me like the Lions are getting a little frustrated here.
Yeah, they seem to be battling to come to terms with the pace of the pitch, or the lack of pace.
That's well bowled. Could there be a run out? No, he slipped. Hit 14. As he went to try and pick that ball up, he slipped because Imran Manak spotted Mitch van Buren backing away and fired one into the pads. Again, well bowled. And it's just going to be the single. 2 balls remaining of this over. Floated up. Hit into the covers. It's going to beat the man at cover and even the long off. So that's a boundary. Now that wasn't, for me, a ball that I think as an off spin at this stage you'd be looking to bowl. He tossed it up, floated it up a little wider, and he's a little disappointed with himself, but that was well played.
Yeah, he should be looking to put it into the pitch a bit more, get a bit of bounce, vary his pace.
And he comes. That's better. Into the pads, quicker. He's got a long boundary to work with on the leg side, and that's where he should be looking to get the batters to hit, and that's exactly what he did. So 5 very good balls and 1 ball that disappeared for 4. 168 for 3. 16 overs bowled.
Yeah, you could see the perfectionist in Imran Manak there, even though it was just 1 off the last ball. The boundary off the previous ball, I think, still upsetting him. He hurled the ball to wicketkeeper Clyde Fortuyn. He's ended with very tidy figures though, 4 overs for 24 runs. And the Lions go into the last 4 overs now on 168 for 3. And suddenly 220 looks maybe out of reach. Someone is going to have to go very well.
Correct. So that run rate's come down to 10.5. Last 2 overs have been good overs from the Rocks. They've managed to bowl some Yorkers, balls into the surface, good slower deliveries. Change of bowling. Oh, this is middled. This is it, and that's going to disappear into the stands, I'm afraid. So now they cut loose, and Rassie van der Dussen, that's his favorite shot. He really does get under that, gets down on one knee, fine across outside his off stump, and he really got under that one. And well, explosive hitting from Rassie van der Dussen.
Yeah, I was going to say trademark Rassie van der Dussen. In this format, bowlers, you say stay away from the leg side. Well, he did that. He bowled outside off stump. He still disappeared over cow corner.
And this one has gone to a wideish mid-on. Mid-wicket has to dive across, and he's not going to get there. So it's another boundary. So 2 boundaries, a 6 and a 4 in the first 2 deliveries of Nyaka's over. And now maybe 220 is within reach, Ken. And they're starting to accelerate now. That's all they needed, just a couple of balls to get going.
And you can just sense there's been a little transfer of pressure. The 6 off the first ball brought a full toss from Nyaka, and now that's gone for 4.
This one is outside off stump. It's a foolish delivery, and Van der Dussen again walks across his stumps and takes that on a half volley and drives it straight back past the bowler. Another boundary. So the first 3 balls of the 17th over have disappeared for 6, 4 and 4. And so now Lions are flying. 182 for 3.
Yeah, it's brilliant batting from Rassie van der Dussen. Positive intent. He's walking at a corner, Mnyaka. And you can just sense now the bowler is really under the pump, getting a few words of support from his teammates. Long on and long off back. There's a deep point and a deep extra cover.
That's right. There's a deep extra cover, deep point. Third man's up, fine legs up. There's a foolish delivery driven down to long on. This looks like it's going to be just a single.
Deep extra cover is an interesting one for me, Hussein.
It is. It is. Van der Dussen, I mean, he loves going across, getting outside off stump and getting down on one knee and hitting over mid-wicket. He enjoys that. Very strong bottom hand leg side player. Extremely strong. So he'll do everything he can to get across. And hit the ball to leg. So clearly the plan here should be, Nyaka should be bowling wide outside off stump, probably wide outside off stump Yorkers, exactly like that. And that's really the plan. If you look at the way the field is set, he's got to try and get it a little wider, although there's still an element of risk because the thick outside edge is going to fly past the short third man. So either way, but I think as a bowler, all you can really do, Ken, is just do what you need to do from your end, and once you release the ball and it's in the right area, what happens at the other end is really not in your control. So I think he did, what he did there was he got the ball in a good area and Van Buren missed it, and that's it. But if it gets hit, so be it. Another decent delivery, and that's the one I'm talking about. Thick outside edge is going to fly. So the bowler for me hasn't done too much wrong, but that's the risk of this type of strategy with the field the way it is. Now if you're confident enough in the bowler and you know he's going to bowl in that area, you could have a fourth man out, so the third man could go out and you cover that type of possibility of the thick outside edge, and then bring one up from the leg side. But then you've got to be really sure that the bowler's going to not drift down the leg side. So but anyway, that's a big over for the Lions. 187 for 3 now.
Yeah, I think moral victory for the bowler, that last delivery. Van Buren really reaching for the drive. He wasn't in control, but he gets the boundary anyway. It's a tough gig for bowlers here at the Wanderers in T20 cricket. Hardis Viljoen is returning to the attack. He's got 2 overs left, so presumably he'll also bowl the last over. Having bowled the first, which went for 19, he'll be hoping to finish a lot better than he started.
And I must say, in that 4-day game we covered here as well, Ken, he bowled. Do you remember that towards the end of the Lions inning? Lions got a big score, but he came back with the old ball. He was getting it to reverse, and he bowled beautifully. I mean, he cleaned them up towards the end.
Yeah, the Lions lost 5 wickets for just about nothing in the back end of that innings.
And I think he was getting it to tail in a bit. And if he can get something similar, it's not easy in T20 cricket because the ball's just 20 overs old, but if he can get something here and string together a few good Yorkers. He's got 12 deliveries from the golf course end now this time. Hardis Viljoen. In he goes, a big man, broad shoulders, into the pads, tickle away down to just as far as short fine leg, and not just be the single for Van der Dussen.
Interesting, Hardis Viljoen's role in this bowling attack, and obviously it's affected by there being 2 frontline spinners, but Hardis is very much the sort of strike bowler, the fast bowler, the wicket taker. And nowadays we often see in T20 that those are the guys who don't bowl in the power play. They bowl more in the middle overs to try and get wickets.
And here comes Viljoen. Oh, this is a Yorker, and he's missed it, and that's going to be out. Van Buren went across his stump. He attempted a little ramp. He's trying to get this over the short fine leg, and he's missed it. It's a good Yorker. It's up there in the block hole, and umpire had absolutely no hesitation there. It was going on to probably crash into Malin leg stump.
Yeah, you can expect that sort of thing in these closing overs. Mitchell Van Buren maybe just went a fraction too early. We know that Hardis Viljoen is very good at getting it up there in the block hole. And Van Buren goes for 11 of 14 deliveries. And one of the 4 men comes to the crease now in Vian Mulder. Still Evan Jones to come, who is also a very ferocious hitter of the cricket ball.
I think it's a good total here. Lions have put together, and I mean, there's still a few overs to go. I can get beyond 200, which they should comfortably now. Even to 10 to 20, it's not going to be easy to chase down. Although you mentioned it just at the start there, Ken, that statistically the stats do favour teams batting second here, the Wanderers in day-night games. Maybe a little bit of dew, ball comes onto the bat nicer. Let's see how this plays out, but it's a good score so far from the Lions. Viljoen in, clipped away off his pads by Mulder, the new batter, and it's going to be a couple. It's one of those balls that's got just past that 30-yard area where the fielder on the boundary has to come in and the fielder who's in the circle has to run. So fielders, by the time they get to the ball, batters can sprint to for the second. It's just the weight of that shot. Although it wasn't intentional, it was more an inside edge. Maybe it was intentional. Quite a bit of a distance away from here, but they get 2 nonetheless. 190 for 4 now, the Lions. Viljoen, big broad shoulders, and this one is carved away backward a point. It's going to go to the boundary, and 4 runs for Vian Mulder. Very well played. Played it nice and late. A little bit of width off it from Huddersfield. He'll be disappointed. He wants probably bowled nice and straight at this stage. Not too much width, especially with the short boundary there.
And timed beautifully for just his second ball at the wicket. We've seen other batsmen come in and maybe just struggle to get the pace of the wicket at first. Vian Mulder just showing the form he's in there.
This one is driven to that backward point area. It's a Yorker, off-stump Yorker from Viljoen. That's a better delivery, and I think if you bowl there, there's not much really a batter can do. Difficult to get under that. Good pace from Viljoen as well. 195 for 4. Final ball of the 18th over. 10.9 is the current run rate. It's going to be a tall order for the Rocks when they come out to bat. Good Yorker, straightish one. It's clipped away by Van der Dussen. And Imran Manak does the fielding. It will be a couple nonetheless. So that's Viljoen's 3rd over bowl. He's what's his figures like? 2 for 37. Others Viljoen. 197 for 4, 18 overs bowled.
Probably the best of his 3 overs in this match, Hardis Viljoen.
Van der Dussen on 32 and Mulder on 7. At the moment, the batters who batted so far: Reza Hendricks 28, Ryan Rickleton 75, Bavuma 26, Van Buren 11, who was recently out, and 32 now for Rassie van der Dussen. So Verisco Adams is bowling he's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 29. He's going to be completing his spell now. He'll bowl the penultimate over from the Corlett drive end. Let's have a look at this field. Third man, fine leg up. He's going to probably bowl Yorkers and slower deliveries. That's what he does very well generally.
Lots of variations coming up, no doubt, in these next 6 deliveries.
Here he comes. Slower delivery. Outside off stump. Driven and beautifully stopped in the covers. Oh, that's a lovely bit of fielding. Diving to his left-hand side. That looked like it was heading for a boundary, although there's a deep point back there, so it may have been a couple, but he stopped at least 1 run there. That's what you want in the field, don't you? Bowler, captain. It lifts everybody up. Brilliant bit of fielding.
Michael Copeland doing outstanding work there. He almost seemed to stop it with the hand that was further away from the ball. Remarkable.
Van der Dussen on strike. Oh, this is hit. And he's hit high and handsome, and it's going to clear the mid-wicket boundary. Spoke about that being Van der Dussen's release shot, his favourite area, trademark, and he loves that area. You get the ball in a good area, even if it's outside of some, he's going to walk across and try and launch into that area. Maximum.
Yeah, Rassie van der Dussen has hit so many balls into that area of the ground here at the Wanderers, and that's now the Lions' highest CSA T20 challenge total. We've got 10 more balls to build on that.
Yeah, and it's 200 up as well. 204 for 4. That was a wide. And you can see what Verisco Adams is trying to do, and you can see what Rassie is trying to do. Rassie is trying to target the short boundary of a mid-wicket leg side, and Verisco Adams trying to push him to try and hit to the long side of the boundary. So he's bowling as wide as he possibly can. And sometimes as a captain, well, I cannot rather take that wide. Just go as wide as you can, as long as he doesn't hit it over that mid-wicket boundary. Please get it wide, hitting into the long side of the boundary. Again, very wide, and that's exactly the right delivery. And you can see that's the plan. It's going to be a couple, big arm coming. But it's a big boundary out there, lots of real estate, and anytime it gets hit into that area, you're looking for 2 as a batter.
Yeah, excellent running by Rassie van der Dussen in his mid-30s now, but he was always keen on 2 there, and the fielding maybe just a little bit unaware of his intentions.
Yeah, I think it's important to get a quick release. Immediately you pick the ball up again, wide, carved away again. This time it's straight to Imran Manak, and this time he does throw. It's a big arm over the keeper. It'll just be the single. 208 for 4. 2 balls remaining of this Frisco Adams over.
So Rassie van der Dussen has really got going for the Lions. As usual, showing his experience, just astute game management. Was willing to just bide his time for a couple of overs. We called it a bit of a dead period, but 220 still very much on the cards now, thanks to the acceleration he's shown at the back end.
Oh, this is hit over long on, and it's probably going to go all the way. Lovely hit from Vian Mulder. He's got it a touch too straight here for Frisco Adams, and Mulder just went through with that shot, held his shape. Beautiful, delightful stroke over long on, and into the side screen for 6.
Such power, such a great stroke there, just like a short arm jab, straight back over the bowler.
And it just shows there is space even in this format for good cricket shots. Sweetly timed, delightful, beautiful to watch cricket shots. This is wide outside off stump, slower delivery, well bowled. Mulder was walking across his stumps. Adams spotted him and bowled a slower Yorker, very, very wide outside off stump. And I think Mulder probably left it. It may have been a wide, but because he walked across, umpires sometimes allow the bowlers to get away with those. So 19 overs bowled, 215 for 4.
So it was interesting chatting to Vian Mulder after he was named in the SA T20 team of the tournament, and he was just saying how when he played for the Proteas, he was kind of told that they didn't feel he had the game to be a finisher in T20 cricket. But he says thanks to the work of Russell Domingo and Hashim Amla and then Lance Trusner down at the Durban Super Giants, he's realised that he's never going to be a Heinrich Klaasen, that sort of hitter, hitting boundaries all the time. But he can find the spaces, and he can still get you boundaries, and he can still score you 50 off 25 balls. And he's showing that again this evening.
Absolutely can. And this one is chipped away. Long on is attacking it, but it's not going to get to him. Just the single.
Hardisviljoen taking a bit of pace off in these last couple of overs that he's bowled.
That did look like a slow ball. Maybe an off-cutter. And those deliveries at this stage of the innings are very, very useful. It's the final over. 5 balls remaining. What will Viljoen do? Yorker, slower delivery, bouncer. It's a Yorker into the pads, clipped away, but only as far as short fine leg. Mahima does the fielding. Single. 216 for 4. So Ken, the 220 you spoke about, they're on target for the 220.
Yeah, they should get there, and
very comfortably.
I think with the bowling attack the Lions have, they would be disappointed not to defend that.
Correct. Viljoen in, shortish length delivery into the surface, carved away, good bit of fielding under the scoreboard on the deep backward point boundary, and that's fired in. Good arm as well. So a couple conceded, well fielded. Viljoen complements the fielding there as well, because there's a dive. It looked at one stage may have been hitting for the boundary.
Yeah, it was skimming across the turf very quickly off Vian Mulder's bat. He really has struck it sweetly from the word go. Vian Mulder has gone to 18 not out very quickly.
Viljoen in, shortish delivery this time, unpredictable, and that's good. I think as a quick bowler, if you've got the pace, you also don't want to be too predictable, because batters tend to line you up with short man, third man up, fine leg up. You can see there Mulder was looking maybe for the Yorker or the foolish delivery, and was almost surprised by the short delivery there. So dot ball.
Yep, it's a gamble with third man up, but a good variation. As you say, it took the batsman a little bit by surprise, and Viljoen, we know, is a great exponent like that of hitting hitting the deckhard, bowling short, but that was poorly directed down the leg side.
Yeah, this one was into the body, a touch too straight. And I don't think Mulder got too much onto it, perhaps maybe even a glove. But that just went between the keeper and short fine leg. And he's got 4 runs for it nonetheless. And Mulder, so he moves to 22, Van der Dussen 42, 2, 2, 3 for 4. So this is a very, very good total that the Lions have put together here. And it's not a surprise either because they've got a powerful batting lineup. Viljoen, oh, this is it, long boundary, there's a man on that mid-wicket boundary, will he catch it? And he does. Looks like Keegan Peterson. He's taken a comfortable catch on the boundary. It is Keegan Peterson, confirmed by Ken Borland, and 223 for 5. The Lions finish in their 20 overs. So that was Mulder, who was dismissed, 22 of 11 deliveries.
So 223 for 5, the Lions end on in their 20 overs. They'll be well satisfied with that. It's been a well managed innings by them. Reza Hendricks and Ryan Rickleton got them off to a blazing start, putting on 76 inside the first 7 overs. Rickleton went on to score 75. There was good support as well from Temba Bavuma, another quick fire half-century partnership which he knows to. And then the Rocks fought back with a couple of wickets, but a very good finish by the Lions thanks to astute batting by Rassie van der Dussen. 42 not out for him, and we just saw Vian Moeder going out of the last ball of the innings for 22.
Yeah, so they came back nicely, but I thought from the start, the first over just set the tone, didn't it?
The
wrong tone for the bowling side. Others for Viljoen, a loose over up front, just couldn't find his direction. His first 2 overs were a bit expensive. He came back nicely towards the end and picked up a few wickets. What did he end up? I think he may have picked up 3 wickets. We'll try and get those bowling numbers. Do you maybe have them? Let's see, we'll try and get those bowling numbers to you quite soon. But Lions have put up a formidable total of 223 for 5 here of their 20 overs. Van der Dussen finishing on 42 not out. Reza Hendricks 28 of 18. Ryan Rickleton 75 of 39, Temba Bavuma 26 of 16, Van der Dussen 42. What did they come off? I'm not too sure. We'll try and find that out. Van Beeren 11 of 14, and Vian Mulder 22 of 11. 223 for 5. That's a formidable total, Ken Borland. How much time do we have before we're back on air?
20 minutes, I think it is, and that powerhouse Lions attack led by Kahisa Rabada. And with the young Kwedama Parker in there as well, Tepa Mareki bowling so beautifully at the moment. Bjorn Fortuin, his last game here at the Wanderers last week, bowling the Lions to the 4-day title. So they'll be raring to go. Just some records from that innings. It's the Lions' highest ever CSA T20 challenge total, and also the highest ever total in this competition at the Wanderers. I do remember the West Indies scoring 240 here.
So it's a domestic record. And I remember picking that up earlier today, the 207 for 5, which the Cobra scored against the Titans. That was the highest first innings total. The highest second innings total, Ken, and this is interesting because we're talking about the run chase of 224. The highest second innings total here is 193 for 4. So if the Rocks race it down, that's going to be a record.
It'll be a hell of an effort by them, I must say. I think it's going to take something special, maybe a big innings from someone like Yaneman Malan. We know he's done it before, he can do it again. Peter Malan has been in good form. They're the really experienced campaigners in that Rocks outfit. They'll have to lead the way.
Yeah, they've got a few batters who can bat through the innings as well. Keegan Peterson, Peter Malan, Yaneman Malan, Clyde Fortuin. They've got Christian Jonker, don't forget him. He can certainly hit a long ball. And then Copeland, Peresco Adams, and then their tail's quite long. So Viljoen also, by the way, can hit a long ball. So, but I think the top order are going to have to do a bulk of the work here if they want to chase this total down. So we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Please join us. We'll have the bowling figures as well for you by then. And let's have a cup of tea, coffee, maybe a little bit of a dinner break, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes or so for that big run chase and to see the Roxen come out and chase down 223.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is CSA T20 Challenge live from the DP World Wanderers. It's an absolute privilege to have you with us, and this game in prospect could be something for Lions fans to enjoy. A powerful bowling lineup, but never ever underestimate the strange nature of T20 cricket, because you could yet find yourself surprised by the performance of one man to change this game. Nevertheless, the Lions have runs on the board, and that's a crucial element as I, David, eventually bring in Hussein Manak. Runs on the board, Hussein, are so vital in any format of the game, and the Lions have got exactly that. 223 for 5 is what they ended on. Wonderful performance from the left-handed magic man, so to speak, win the T20 competition. Ryan Rickleton with a wonderful start, but some magic as well from South Africa's superstar Kagiso Rabada, who will be bowling from the corner drive-in.
Thank you very much, David, and welcome back to the, I almost said the old sponsor's name, it's DP World Wanderers. So, yeah, the band's playing, and why not? Because the Lions have posted a formidable total, and the target is 224 at 11.2 to the over from ball one. And that isn't going to be easy at all, especially not with Kagiso Rabada running in at you.
It's just something special about Kagiso Rabada. He flew through the ranks after that victory in 2014 with Aiden Markram, Mandela Pehlakwai. Fortuin as well was part of that mix when they won that Under-19 World Cup.
Oh, this is quick, it's short, it's into the body, and it's an attempted pull from Peter Malan. Unfortunately, that's hit him. And it may just be hurting, he's not going to show it. Fine legs up, deep square leg on the boundary, the two men back, deep square leg, and the third man on the boundary. There is a slip. Rabada does get a bit of shape, and up front, he'll see if he can maybe swing a few, maybe find a little bit of a tickle, maybe outside edge. Oh, it's full, and this is driven firmly down the ground. 4 runs.
What a statement from Peter Malan. That's a reply if there ever was one. He would have been breathing very shallow after that one hit him in the ribs, but not missing out on a gift from Kagiso Rabada. He gets off the mark, and he gets his team off the mark with a boundary. Lovely stroke.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stroke, because he just got a touch full. Rabada went for probably the Yorker, I'm thinking, because I mean, you know, at this stage in a T20 match with a big total, chasing 11 and over, you know the batting side's going to come hard. They have to come out of the blocks scoring at 11 plus. They cannot get behind the run rate, because once it gets to 12 or 13, you're under pressure. That's a good ball. That swung as well as it left the right-hander straight through to the keeper. Dot ball.
Malan brothers batting together once again. It's been a common theme in their time at the Rocks. But no one should really underestimate Peter Malan. I know there's a lot of credit being given to Janneman Malan as being a brilliant white ball player. And he got his debut for the national side with the white ball format. But Peter Malan has been helpful at the top, an anchor in which around his team can bat.
Oh, this is full, and he's missed it. He's tried to go again, perhaps maybe somewhere back over long on, or maybe mid-wicket back past the bowler. And he's missed him. He struck it on the pad. I did think from here, where we are, maybe it wasn't a bad shot. I don't know, was it an inside edge maybe?
Yeah, maybe it stifled appeal from the Lions players. Kagiso Rabada and Ryan Rickleton not really interested. It's normally the indicator if the wicketkeeper goes up. Then you'll feel confident about a shot. I know this is a gun-free zone, but there's too much firepower here, you might think, for the Lions with ball in hand.
It's a powerful bowling lineup. Oh, this is beautifully hit, explosive batting, and he's really crunched this. He's held his shape through the line of the ball. Exquisite shot from Peter Malan, and 4 more added to the total. They move to 10 for no loss after 1.
What a strike. I just said there's too much firepower, but the Malan brothers not listening and happy to defy us. Glorious stroke to end the over, and 1 done 10 without loss. So they look to go at 11.5 to the over, and 10 after the first they'll be happy with.
Yeah, that's a good start. And so important in the first 6 overs with the fielding restrictions, the batting side chasing 11 plus and over, 11.2. You've got to try and find boundaries in this first 6. And they've got to maintain that required or asking run rate. And so, left arm spinner Bjorn Fortuin, who's captaining in this CSA T20 challenge, captaining the Lions side. He's going to be opening the bowling. That's also not a big surprise, because he has been doing that quite successfully over the years.
And he's just come off of a bumper red ball season. Absolutely incredible, in which he took a fifer in that final against the Western Province side. Turned the game around, arguably, along with Delano Potgieter's mammoth innings. But it's the white ball stuff now.
In he comes. The left arm orthodox spinner, bowling to 2 right-handers, and that's always a good idea. We'll slide it nice and straight. 4 men up on the offside. Good use of the feet. This is knocked into the vacant area, into that mid-wicket area for a quiet little single.
And interestingly, the man on the leg side wasn't all the way. It's a very long boundary to the onside. And so they've put Mitchell van Buren about 10 or 15 meters off the boundary, asking him to really muscle it if he is going to hit it that far.
Wonderful bit of fielding. The man at point. Dot ball. Every dot ball here, when you're chasing a total, it's just becomes a psychological battle you've got to overcome. Stay calm, because the scoreboard pressure, that asking run rate. Beautiful drive. Cracking one through the covers. It was slightly floated and tossed up by the skipper, Fortuin. And he really leaned into this one. Opened the blade of the bat and crunched it through the covers.
Lovely transferal of weight there from Janeman Malan. Peter Malan, rather.
Now there's an appeal. It's struck him on probably the inside thigh, and it's beaten everything. Stumps, keeper, and run away. Was there an indication of leg bias, or did I miss it? Let's have a look.
A leg by, yeah?
Yes, it is.
So the first
Okay.
extra. Maybe a bit of height being the saving grace for Peter Malan.
And I think the one indication, and it's quite a useful one these days with the big scoreboard up, when you're chasing a total, is that Douglas Lewis par score. It gives you a wonderful indication just about more or less where you are, Sometimes so 2 overs bowled, 16 for no loss. Very often people who don't understand cricket, if you tell them, okay, there's a game on, one of the questions they normally ask is like, who's winning, And you don't know what to say to that question, because it's just impossible to answer. Like, you don't know who's winning. But it isn't like soccer where one team's 3-2 or one or ahead of the other. But with the Duckwood Lewis par, you almost feel like, you more or less have an idea of who's ahead of the other team. At the moment, the Duckwood Lewis par, it's only 2 overs. Yes, early days. It's 27. That's the Duckwood Lewis par, and Rocks can find themselves with 1 or 2 quiet overs falling behind. Evan Jones is in. It's a catch. Mid-wicket. It's taken. The first ball up from Evan Jones, and it's chipped away by Peter Malan, who was on 14. He's clipped this one of his pads, but he didn't middle it. You just felt that sound of the bat. It wasn't a clean sound. It wasn't off the middle of the bat. You don't blame him, because very quickly they could find themselves falling behind the asking rate. He tried to clip this over the leg side, and only succeeding in hitting it straight to the man at mid-wicket. Do we know who the fielder is?
I think it was Vian Mulder that took the catch. A brilliant diving catch to his right, and a contrast in pace, because it was Kagiso Rabada that bowled the first over from the corner drive, and Evan Jones picking up a wicket with his first ball. So the variety here for the Lions, not unlike that of the Rocks when they started. Everybody gets 1 apiece, but a Great bit of fielding there to dismiss the Rocks captain. Peter Malan is gone. Keegan Peterson replacing him. Good experience for him in this format, but not coming into an environment that will be friendly or courteous to him at all. This is Lions territory, and the bullring can be a cauldron.
Especially when you're chasing a total of 224 at 11 plus and over. So Jones, remember, he didn't play too much cricket this year for the Lions. He did have a bit of an injury at some stage in the season. This one is down the leg side. It will be called a wide. So I don't think he played too much in the 50 over competition. He wasn't in the 4-day squad. So he'll be raring to go.
But was part of that SAA side at Potchefstroom against India A, where he was veritably the leader of the attack. Really bent his back there, pushing those Indian batters onto the back foot, but different game now.
This one is a short ball and it's up in the air. It's going to be caught. Keegan Peterson tries to play a pull shot of a short delivery from Jones. It's rushed him and he's only succeeded in hitting it softly straight up to Kagiso Rabada at mid-on. And Jones picks up his second wicket in his first over.
And he's gone for a duck. Keegan Peterson, I said there was an opportunity here and he's not taken it. Mistimed pull stroke, almost like a tennis forehand, and it ended up being a bit of a drop shot, falling comfortably into the hands of Kagiso Rabada. Made no mistake, 17 for 2, and that brings Clyde Fortuin to the wicket. He spent some time in New Zealand recently with the South African Test side, but as I said with Evan Jones, this is a different competition and you've got to apply your mind for this type of game, especially when you're 2 down inside the power play.
So Clyde Fortuin, 1,006 runs in his T20 career. And every batter that comes to the crease here will know that from ball one, they've got to try and find boundaries and keep the scoreboard ticking. But it's so important to stay emotionally calm under this type of pressure, because very often you can pick it up later. So even though you look at the scoreboard and the required rate is 11.7, important that you know as a batter that if you've got a Rabada bowling, if you've got the new ball you're facing, that's called a wide. Just outside off stump.
Too
Jones,
high over the top, yeah.
And the height as well. Yes. So important to stay calm, get yourself in, knock the ball around, and if the ball's in your area, you can go through with it. The hard ball does fly. Keep that positive intent. With the power play, you'll get good value. This is crunched through the offside by Fortuin. My word, didn't he throw his hands at that half volley outside off stump? A little bit of width off it from Jones, but brilliant hands.
It's exactly what you said, Hussein. The hard ball does fly here, and all you need is just the timing in your favour. Evan Jones won't be too upset. He's already picked up 2 in this over, but he'll want to tighten up those lines.
I think if you're a classical, or let's just call it a normal, conventional top order batter, well, this one is a short delivery and it's going to be out, or is it? Well, it's hit something. Jones is appealing. The Lions are appealing, but the umpire is unmoved. Umpire Gaza is unmoved.
Yeah, umpire Harris now signalling the physio to come on the field there. It's cracked him on the noggin.
Yeah, which means it's hit him on the helmet. So they're going to do the concussion test. Physio is going to come out. And probably the Lions would have been thinking, okay, it's hit something, or maybe a glove and then the helmet. But either way, they all went up, and they went up quite convincingly, but it definitely has hit the helmet.
It just had that plastic sound almost as it hit him on the head. Just the normal protocols they'll go through here, but this Lions side is one that wants to do better than they did in the last CSA T20 challenge. Really struggled in the previous edition, and so on the back of some good form in the red ball stuff, they want to continue to shine. Rock side have been too inconsistent, unfortunately, across the formats. I remember a game at Potchefstroom in the One Day Cup where they really put the Dragons to the sword. Keegan Peterson in that instance, really dominating with bat in hand, and a big 100 from Peter Milan. But both of those men now dismissed, and so they're relying on these two, Janneman and Clyde Fontaine.
Oh, this one is pulled away firmly. There's a man on the deep square leg boundary, and he does a brilliant job diving to his left-hand side because that ball was flying. It was firmly hit by Clyde Fontaine. Lovely pull. He kept it down. And, rolled his wrist over that, but he'll just get the single.
Yeah, Rassie van der Dussen showing off his football goalkeeping skills there just to parry that. As you said, it was hit with some fierce power.
So Jones is looking to bowl hard lengths. It's pretty clear into the surface. There we go again. It's nicely just run down to third man. That generally that third man area will get a lot of traffic. If there's any width on the ball, 3 overs bowled, 24 for 2.
First touch on the ball for Kwena Mapaka. Didn't get the opportunity to bat, but yet to have the ball in hand and in prospect. Some may say a successor to Kagiso Rabada, but I think it's important that with any player that comes through the structures that we allow them to show their own skills and for them to shine their own light. They don't have to be compared to anybody else. I think that's important because then there's no pressure on them. They must just come out and
yeah, I mean
give their best.
We've seen that where a young AB de Villiers, what was Brevis called?
Baby AB.
Baby AB, and the type of pressure that puts on you as a young player is immense, you know. So. Yeah, I agree with you absolutely. I think you just got to allow these young players to play, let them, develop as they do, and pick up the experience, and allow them to fail as well, because that's what happens when you get thrown in at a higher level. It's just natural. I think you're not always going to just swim straight away. So it's important to allow these talented young players opportunity to find themselves at a higher level. Learn, grow, and also fail at times. And sometimes failure is the best way to learn and to grow and develop. So Rabada has changed ends. He's now bowling from the golf course end. Oh, this is clipped away. Beautiful shot here. And it's on the grass embankment. Maximum from Clyde Fontaine. Really picked that up beautifully. He's seeing it nicely.
Wonderful use of the pace of Kagiso Rabada. Just flew fairly flat, but it flew very quickly off the bat of Fontaine.
He looks to be enjoying the pace here, Clyde Fontaine. It's a crunching cover drive as he just came in through the covers of Jones, and now this little pickup. Even the pulley played down to deep square leg in the previous over. Oh, that's a bit of a hack, I'm afraid. He saw the length. I think he may have picked up the length was a touch short, but looked like maybe Rabada may have slowed that down, either knuckleball, but it didn't fly through to the keeper as Fontaine expected.
His eyes lit up there, did Fontaine.
His eyes lit up, indeed.
The keeper just sees an opportunity and wanted to throw his hands at it. You spoke about the DLS par. It's 50 at the moment. It was 27 at the start of the previous over. Just shows how much wickets have an impact on that score and how much you feel like suddenly now you're scrambling where you could have felt a little bit more settled before those 2 wickets fell. And wickets inside the power play are so vital for any bowling side.
Correct. So the rocks were quite expensive in the field. They did win the toss earlier and elected to have a bowl first, and yeah, expected, I suppose. Most teams will look to do that. But it'll just be the single. Right to Mapaka at short fine leg. Wonderful bit of fielding as well, because it comes quickly there when you're at short fine leg, especially. Comes around the corner, especially with the fast bowlers. New ball can come pretty quickly. Need to be sharp. The 2 men back, deep square leg, slightly behind square, and third man who's very wide, almost a deep backward point. Those are the 2 men back, which probably tells you a little bit about the length Rabada's looking to bowl. He's not going to get too full because mid-off and mid-on are up. Hard lens into the surface. That's the T20 lens. Most bowlers tend to bowl, and there we go. It's into the surface. Attempted a little push. Over bowled. So 4 overs bowled. 32 for 2.
Fortuin on 12, Janneman Malan on 3. This partnership worth just 15. They need to go 12 to the over, and currently just 4 behind at 8 to the over. So not the ideal start that they would have looked for. And Kagiso Rabada and Bjorn Fortuin have switched ends. Rabada having bowled the previous over from the golf course end, and Fortuin saying, well, I'm skipper, I want to bowl from the call it drive end.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think I like, from a captain, particularly when you're creative, moving bowlers around. It just doesn't. And the interesting thing in 50 over cricket, it took a batter sometimes 3-4 balls, sometimes an over or 2, and they line you up and they could then have a go at you. But in T20 cricket, it just takes 1 ball, 1 or 2 balls. Batters line you up. This is pull. It's a sweep. Outside off stump. He's swept this. And this is well played. There's 2 men up in the circle behind square. Rabada's at a backward square leg. And then Mapaka's at short fine leg. And this is swept hard by, is it Janneman Malan? I think it is. And he swept this between the 2 fielders. 4 runs. Attempted sweep again. Oh, he's given him. He's walked across his stumps this time, Janneman Malan. And he's tried to play a very similar shot. But I think Fortuin was maybe expecting it. Push it through a little fuller and a touch quicker. And he's missed that. Immediately the umpire raises his finger.
Serious trouble here for the Gbets Rocks. 3 down so early, and 3 crucial batters, big wickets for the DP World Lions. So the responsibility squarely on the shoulder now of Janneman Malan. Clyde Fortuin dismissed.
Oh, is that for Clyde Fortuin? Okay, pardon me, that's my error. It was Clyde Fortuin. So that's a big wicket because he was playing nicely.
Yeah, scoring quite prodigiously. Michael Copeland comes to the wicket. Just 149 runs to his name. Only the 19 games thus far. And 15 opportunities to bat. His highest coming against the Warriors at Gqeberha in 21-22. So still a young cricketer. Did well to get to this point, but it's a very different level for players to come from the under-19s through to this level of cricket.
I would agree with that, absolutely. There's just a big gap between under-19s and coming up and playing with this type of pressure. I mean, this situation now has huge pressure here. Young men coming to the crease. 188 runs required. Fortuin, quick delivery, fired in. And a dot ball. There's 2 men behind square on the offside. There's also a point. Looks like Bavuma. There's a short cover. Jones. Long off.
Looking to tuck him up there with that one.
He's definitely not looking to turn the ball at the moment. He's firing them in, isn't he?
I think if there is any bit of turn, he wants them to hit towards that short boundary on the leg side and try and hit against the spin.
Another dot ball. So that required run rate has now climbed to 12.3 to the over. And every time one of the batters looks up and he sees that, the pressure mounts. That's 2 runs per ball.
It's a good way to end the over for Bjorn Fortuin. He picked up the wicket in that one, and at the same stage after 5, the Lions were 60 without loss. So stark contrast between these two sides. 5 gone, 36 for 3. So 2 for Rabada, 2 for Fortuin, 1 for Jones. And it looks like Mapaka, Quina Mapaka, young left armer, getting an opportunity. He's played some first-class cricket for the Lions, played some SAA cricket as well. Before he got his first-class debut, played SAA when Lutu Sapamla got injured. But he's been an absolute sensation for the under-19s. The youngest ever SA under-19 player. So big cheer as he gets his opportunity now to make a debut for the Lions in the CSA T20 Challenge.
Oh, immediately rushes Yaneman Malan. He'll enjoy bowling at the Wanderers as well. Get nice bounce, good carry. And, for bowlers who have that extra yard of pace and are skiddy and quick, they will enjoy bowling here, and I'm pretty sure he will as well. Kwena Mapaka. Let's have a look at the field. Deep square leg, and that deep backward point, third man, spoke about early. So another dot ball.
Malan forgetting that, yes, while he is a schoolboy, he is good enough to be at this level. So there's no disrespect needed here. Although I suppose if you would go after one of these Lions bowlers, Mapaka might be the sacrificial lamb, if you will.
Well, I don't think at the moment, I don't think Malan has any choice. I think at 12 or 12.8 to the over, I think every bowler's, they've got to attack. Oh, this is short, and will it be called a wide?
Nope.
That's tight. That's pretty tight. Well, umpires
as well for the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd are loving it, aren't they? That's a quick short ball, and that's a strong message as well, imposing himself here immediately as he's coming to the attack here. And Kwena Mapaka has flown through to the keeper. If Malan had any thoughts of advancing down the wicket, that may have changed his mind. Oh, this one is pulled away. Almost a little short-arm jab down to deep back at square leg. And he'll get a couple.
Yeah, just nurdled that one away. Surprising that he's not decided, well, I'd rather sit on the other end. I didn't enjoy the delivery prior to that, but maybe he wants to front up here. 38 for 3, 2 balls remaining in this Mapaka over.
13 runs per over required. This is hit over mid-on. Rabada's turned around and he's chasing it. Didn't get a lot of bat on it, and didn't come out of the middle either. Hit him high. It's just cleared mid-on, and it will only be the single. That occasion for Malan.
That one, just as you said, hit high on the bat, and he wasn't able to get the timing on it that he would have liked. Just managed to scoop it over the top of mid-on.
Into the pads, and it's missed. So that's sliding down leg, I'm afraid. And also probably pitching outside leg stump. So Mapaka's first over is a good one. Just goes for 3 runs.
Yeah, he can certainly be proud of that. He's done himself no disservice. Good first over in this CSA T20 challenge from young Mapaka. And I think that encouragement and guidance from the dressing room is going to be crucial for him as he goes on in his career, especially from somebody like Kagiso Rabada, Themba Bavuma, guys that have been around the domestic system for a long time, Bjorn Fortuin. Just a kind word here and there when he does do well, and make sure that they lead him to every success possible. Moreki will replace the skipper from the Kola Tribe end.
He's played 44 matches, 45 wickets in his T20 career. Sepo Moreki. Economy is normally around about 8.3, but he'll bowl normally in the power play and also at the death. So fine leg up, third man back, power plays over.
And ironically, Moreki's best figures coming against the Lions when he did once upon a time ply his trade in Cape Town. But making the shift with Zubair Hamza up to the Highveld, and it's never easy changing teams, let alone the shift from the coast to the Highveld. He put it himself well, has Moreki.
Indeed, also played a big part, getting 5 wickets in that first innings in the 4-day final, which the Lions ended up champions. So there's a short ball. Oh, that's quick. That's really rushed. Bat on that occasion.
Good call there by Milan to make sure he allows Copeland to have a bit of a rest on the other end, knowing that he's the senior man here. And that required run rate 13.4. They're going at 6.5 to the over, and as you said, every time the batters look up there, the weight of the chase just feels.
You feel it's
heavier.
almost unfair on the batters, don't you? I mean, like young batters coming into bat, and whoever's batting, if you're a top order batter, it's really not easy, especially with this type of attack. This is a full toss, and he's put it away neatly. Clipped it off his pad, perfectly placed between the two fielders of the boundary, and a few more of those will just give this run chase and the batters a little bit of confidence. You just feel they need to get going, and they need to get one partnership going. It's not an easy venue to defend a total. Now this is a big total, but get a partnership going. I'll tell you what, you can get within range. They may not get there at this stage, but they can get reasonably close if they get a couple of big partnerships. This is a short delivery, is an attempted straight pull or one of those forehand tennis smashes, but he's cloth batted it straight back past the bowler.
Yeah, nearly decapitated the umpire Gasa at the standing end. But as you said, it didn't quite have the venom that perhaps he would have liked. And it's such an important thing for these two to lay a platform to bat for the next 6 to 10 overs, especially with Jonker, who can really hit the long ball. They've just got to bat for time to give themselves the best opportunity to launch at the back end, although they don't have much in their favor with that required run rate being what it is.
Are you a little surprised that Jonker's coming in behind Copeland? I mean, I've seen Jonker play. He's represented the Proteas. He's played for South African T20 cricket. We know he can hit a long ball. I just feel you want your best batters coming in. You want the hardest hitters coming in. I'm not saying Copeland can't, but I mean, he's still young. He doesn't have that type of record. So I would have thought Jonker coming in and taking it on, unless his role specifically is to try and play as a finisher and maybe later on in the innings. Or maybe specifically coming in after the 7th, 8th over. Thick outside edge from Copeland, and he's going to get a boundary here. Fortuitous, but I think deliberately played as well. He did try and play it in this area, maybe not for 4, but the fine edge did take it down for 4. Mapaka couldn't get to it. So a very valuable boundary here. 2 in that over for the Rocks. 50 for 3. They get to the 50. Copeland's on 5 and Janneman Malan on 12.
Intelligent cricket there from Mikey Copeland. Just opens the blade and guides it very fine. And as you said, Mapaka not able to cut that one off. It was played deftly. And now again, Mapaka will have the opportunity to show off his skills. Thank you, Hussein, for your opening shift, and I've got Ken Borland joining me. So long on, deep backward square, fine leg, third man, and deepish point, 3 men square or behind square on the offside. Mapaka, left arm over the wicket to Milan. Oh, he mistimed that, but it's exactly where he needs it to be rather than he wanted it to be. This will race to the boundary. Will they be able to cut it off? Great dive there by Mitch van Buren, and they come through for 3 in the end. So saved 1, and right in front of the mascot as well. So I wonder if the mascot might replicate that effort there.
I doubt it, and just upset to see Kwena Mapaka going a bit full there, but over pitching. He bowled a couple of fantastic deliveries in his first over that he got bounced from quite a good length, and he troubled Janneman Malan a couple of times. That's an international player. That's an experienced cricketer at this level, and in case you haven't heard, Kwena Mapaka is a matric schoolboy. So that's hugely encouraging in terms of his talent, and yeah, I'd like to see him try and do that again, just hit the deck a bit more rather than floating it up there.
Jeepers, he's nearly gotten a return catch there. Would have taken a sharp effort from him, but they'll come back for 2. Another flat-batted smash, and maybe practicing his paddle is Milan.
It was a fraction too short, that Bavuma Parker, allowing Milan just enough length to get that bunt down the ground. Very nicely timed. But the other thing I really like about this Lions bowling effort so far is Evan Jones coming on first change.
The shy at the non-strikers. Oh, and there's overthrows as well. Reza Hendricks firing it in at the non-strikers end, and it's wrong-footed Vian Mulder, and they get through for some bonus runs.
Yeah, Evan Jones, I think people would have thought he's kind of the 5th or 6th bowler sort of thing. He came on first changer, and I think it's exactly his sort of wicket. You know, I think he's a big, tall guy. He can hit the deck. He can get a bit of bounce out of it. And I think maybe there's a bit of too paced about the pitch as well, which he can really exploit.
Help up and over the top, and just plugs in the outfield. They'll come back for 2, and a direct hit would have been more beneficial for that effort. That one just bobbled up in the air, Ken, nearly presenting an opportunity, but misses as good as a mile.
It was a very extravagant shot by Yaneman Milan. The back leg came up. He was really trying to smash that to the mascot at our corner. No timing though. Quenma Parker holds a bit of a heavy ball.
A bit of ingenuity and innovation there from Milan. Maybe a little bit closer than it looked like from up here with that shy from Bavuma.
Yes, I think Michael Copeland was kind of taking his time a bit there, forgetting who the ball had gone to, which was Temba Bavuma. So quick with the pick-up and throw there, Bavuma. I think if he had hit the bat, might not have been down, to be honest. Certainly the Lions players were all very interested.
Gives himself some room on the leg side to hit it through the offside. Bavuma again, but this time he hangs on to it. And that's the end of the 8th. 62 for 3.
Yeah, and 2 tidy overs by Quenma Parker in his first T20 appearance for the Lions, costing just 15 runs. Evan Jones, just to complete what I was saying about him, he's bowled just the 1 over, but he did take 2 wickets. He did, and very nearly a third. The umpire turning down a caught behind appeal, which the umpire ruled had just come off the helmet of Clyde Fortuyn. The Lions thought there was glove.
And Bjorn Fortuyn opening the treasure chests of bowlers and saying, well, eeny, meeny, miny, all of you. There's so many options for him. Moreki and Nuova. Slap that away. Chase on here for the skipper. It's going to beat him, and that'll go all the way to the boundary.
It's a nice shot, giving himself room by going on the back foot and slapping that through the covers. Copeland goes to 10. Just the one bowling option which might not be on Bjorn Fortuyn's table, we're not sure, is Vian Mulder, who was unable to bowl in the Lions' previous fixture, which was the final of the 4-day competition, due to a badly bruised foot. We're not sure whether Mulder is bowling fit or not. He might not be needed. They've got 5 bowlers already who are doing a good job reducing the rocks to 66 for 3.
And if need be, he does have Reza Hendricks as an option. But I wonder if, like Michael Copeland, he might travel a bit. Tucked him up there. They immediately set off. There's a shy at the non-strikers in, but it deserved a direct hit or a better throw, perhaps.
Yeah, so a half chance in the field there, maybe, for the Lions. Michael Copeland has nearly got himself run out twice in successive overs.
And Bavuma's both times.
Yeah, and I think Temba Bavuma will be very alert to a third chance, and he'll want to make sure of that one.
I don't think you can give Temba Bavuma too many options to run you out. David Warner tried it in Australia famously.
Just on the spinners, Wanderers is a tough place to bowl spin in white ball cricket. Bjorn Fortuin has really mastered the art. I just think for spinners to be successful here, all that
Top edge, and that'll go all the way for 6. He looked a little bit rushed in that shot, did Yanaman Malan. And, well, it's effective. All the way for 6.
Yeah, Chepo Mareki's brisk, you know. He's a skiddy bowler. He causes batsmen problems. He's quicker than he looks, I think. And that was a very unconvincing 6 by Yanaman Malan. Yeah, just on the spinners, I feel like to be successful here as a spinner in white ball cricket, you need to have a bit of a difference. You need to have a bit of X factor. With Bjorn Fortuin, is that he can bowl with the hard ball. He skids it on. He's got a lethal arm ball. We saw Imran Manak do well. He's tall with bounce and also bowls a really good quicker ball and can get the ball to go straight as well.
Well, that's exactly where that shot has gone, straight. Little towards the onside, but that'll go all the way. Much more convincing shot. Lovely stroke for 6.
Yeah, overpitched by Chepo Mareki. And I don't think there's any need really for the Lions bowlers to be bowling that full. Certainly not at this stage of the innings. Hit that just back of a good length. Hit the pitch hard. I think there's enough in it for them to be rewarded.
Takes the partnership now into the 40s. And I agree, there's no need to seek out a magic ball. Just consistent lines and lengths will get you there. That's much better from Mureki. Malan maybe trying to open the blade there to beat Temba Bavuma at backward point. Just one ball remaining in this, the 9th over. 79 for 3.
Yanaman Malan took a while to get going. He had just 9 off 12 balls. He's now scored 26 off the next 9 deliveries, so he's got 35 off 21, and one feels that he is really going to be key to this Rocks run chase.
Hammered away to that man at long on, but a vain attempt to try and cut that one off. Was hit with some fierce power, and that gives him a boundary. So 9 gone, 83 for 3.
Yeah, it's a bit of a resurgence for the ball on side, led by Yanaman Malan. He's on 39 not out now. Copeland on 11. 83 for 3. The batsman out already. Well, Evan Jones dismissed 2 of the big fish in the same over. His first, Peter Malan for 14, and Keegan Peterson for a duck. And the other man now, Clyde Fortuin, was trapped to RBW by Bjorn Fortuin for 16.
Fortuin undone by Fortuin. Friendly fire, perhaps.
Yeah, no relation, those two.
No.
Clyde and Bjorn.
It's like trying to keep track of all the Herman brothers, or not brothers. And
Well, 2 of them are related.
yes,
And the other 2, well, there are 4 of them and two brothers, 2 pairs of brothers.
cheapest.
But yeah, which one is which is the sibling pair? That's the issue.
Absolutely. Evan Jones to begin a new over from the golf course. And try to set off quickly there, did Copeland. I think crucially, Ken, for this partnership to have done as well as it has, the key element has been Yanaman Malan taking responsibility, not putting all of the onus on Michael Copeland.
Yeah, Copeland's young and inexperienced. And you and Hussein touched on it in the previous stint, you know, that it's now or never for Yanaman Malan. As soon as that required run rate got up to above 12 to the over, you can't then afford to sit back and rebuild and consolidate and take up a few more balls.
Down the wicket, but it's a friendly waft. And not the desired result for Copeland. Maybe looking to take on Evan Jones.
One admires the intent of Copeland, but it just looks a little bit frantic at the moment. plans aren't necessarily looking that clear.
Just looking like he's trying to hit everything. Just a dink into the onside here, and Jones does his own fielding, and boy oh boy has there been drama with the running between the wickets. Far from confident, and a sprawled out effort there to try and prevent the run out. Michael Copeland and run outs have not been they've survived.
Well,
let's put it like that.
There have been 3 times now that the Lions have looked in business if they'd hit the stumps.
Change in the field, long off goes back, fine leg into the ring. This one's carved away through the offside. They'll just get 1 for it though. And an indication here that with the 50 partnership coming up, of 33 balls, that a fresh pair of gloves is required for Yanaman Malan, who later this year, Ken, will celebrate his 10th year in domestic cricket, making his debut 2015-2016.
He seems to have been around for longer. I must admit, I thought he'd been around for at least a dozen.
It's Peter Malan that's been around since 2009-10.
No.
That's why. Maybe it's just you've just seen Malan
No.
on the scorecards for so long.
I know the difference. I mean,
Yes,
sure. I think Peter Malan's been around for 20 years, it feels like. So maybe I'm just exaggerating both of them. But 2 very key figures for this Rocks team.
Bit of a slow ball there, and this is muscled out onto the onside, and that's the end of the 10th. Halfway done, 87 for 3, and at the same stage the Lions were 1-1-3 for 1.
So Michael Copeland, he's just 21 years old, born in Port Shepstone on the Natal South Coast, educated up here in Joburg though at King Edward VII School, but has played all his senior cricket down in the Moorland. I imagine he's a Stellenbosch University boy, possibly.
Sounds like a similar type journey to that of South Africa's phenomenal test captain at one point, Graham Smith, also educated here. Oh, that one's gone through everything. I don't know how that's not taken the stumps. And then played his cricket down south, Graham Smith, King Edward VII, and then Western Province for his career.
Yanaman Malan has had his problems against left-arm spin, and he really was bamboozled by that delivery from Fortuin.
Copeland just bunting this away onto the onside for the single and saying, "You overcome your demons by yourself, my friend. I'm not going to save you from this."
Umpire Gaza is just having a long stare at Vian Mulder, who...
Oh, he's come down the wicket and mistimed that, and through a misfield by Mureki, they're able to cross each other for a single.
We know Vian Mulder has a strong arm, but the previous delivery he bounced in from the boundary, running in from cow corner. It must have bounced 5 or 6 times and then basically rolled to the wicket keeper.
Oh, again he comes down the wicket, and again it's beat everything, and that'll run away to the boundary. It'll be 4 runs. He's got a tickle on it.
Extra bounce there from Bjorn Fortuin, and did both the batsman and wicketkeeper Ryan Rickleton. Not much chance for Rickleton to really catch that one. So umpires, they take a dim view of fielders bouncing the ball excessively on the outfield and particularly on the square, trying to rough up the ball.
Comes down the wicket. This time he does connect, but there's a man out there at long off who will clean up comfortably, and 1 ball remaining in the 11th. Fortuin nearly finished with his 3rd, but the Lions have been markedly cheaper with ball in hand than that of the Rocks, who had 4 bowlers who went 10 to the over, Ken, and especially when you start with such an expensive first over.
Yeah, the tone was poorly set up front, And the Lions getting away to really a rollicking start. 76 for the first wicket, inside 7 overs. And it just gave the Lions the ability to absorb the fall of a couple of wickets in the middle overs. And then with Rassie van der Dussen scoring 42 not out of 21 balls, they were able to go hard at the end again with Vian Mulder. And posting their highest ever score in T20 domestic cricket. Fantastic effort, 223 for 5. It's also the highest domestic total here at the DP World Wanderers.
Well, full toss, and it's gone absolutely the wrong direction. He tried to ramp this one and it went down to fine leg. So had everyone bamboozled, and what a way to start the 12th.
Evan Jones was down on his knees, huddled, almost crying on the pitch.
Trying to have new answers to the same questions are the Rocks. Look like a bit of a cutter there, and that'll be leg byes signalled by umpire Harris. Change in the field, fine legs going back and long off in Bjorn Fortuin coming into the ring.
It's been noticeable in the 2 overs. This is the second over. Evan Jones is now bowling in his second spell, changing ends to the golf course end as well, that he has been using a lot of cutters and slower balls and just taking the pace off. He's very good at it.
That's exactly what you ordered, Ken. Oh, and a slow ball bouncer, friendly waft there.
Umpire Stephen Harris at the bowler's end. Just happy that that wasn't the wide. Stephen Harris, of course, was here a week ago, standing in the 4-day series final.
Evan Jones now deciding that he wants fine leg in the ring, and long off will jog and make his way to the boundary. So really just toying with the batsman here is Evan Jones. Again, this one is guided out to that deep point fielder, again with the slow ball bouncer. And 100 up for the Rocks. Coming off of 72 deliveries, 10 fours and 4 sixes.
So it's 11 balls slower than the Lions got to their 100. Not too bad, one feels. They're 26 runs behind the DLS par.
Well, if you're going to catch up to DLS par, that's one way to do it, Ken. The reverse sweep, and effective in the end. Glorious result. 4 runs.
Wonderful shot by Yaneman Malan. Just so well executed. And he knows the gap there between short turn man and backward point. Picked it perfectly.
That's high in the air. It's going, and gone all the way for 6. Lovely stroke to get his 50. Wonderful, wonderful bit of batting from him. That's his 11th T20 50. And the man who's carried this side today just needs to keep going, keep going. Lovely scoop inside out almost.
Yeah, it hasn't been the easiest of seasons for Yaneman Malan, but great to see him back amongst the runs. And it's a 31 ball 50 with 4 fours and 3 sixes. He's done well to survive a few troubles early on, and is now going well. The Lions will be mindful of how destructive he can be should all cylinders start firing for him. So perhaps it's time for Rabada to come back and try and break this partnership, which is now worth 74.
It won't be Rabada, it'll be young Kwenamapaka, who's changed ends now, having bowled 2 overs north for 15. He's going to come in from the call-it drive end. It must be quite a surreal experience sharing the change room with Kagiso Rabada and Temba Bavuma, and it reminds me a little bit of Vian Mulder when he made his debut, coming in school clothes.
I think the difference is that having gone to the same school as Kagiso Rabada
And Vian Mulder.
and yes, yeah, that's true actually.
And Ryan Rickleton.
And yeah, St. Stidians for those who can't guess. Rabada has been a bit of a mentor for Mapaka already in his career. They do know each other well.
Chipped up, there's a man there, and it's taken. That's Mapaka's first wicket in CSA T20 cricket in Lions colours. An innovative shot, but not the desired results. The left-arm youngster has a breakthrough.
Yeah, very well bowled by Mapaka. He kept it simple, while Michael Copeland tried to do something fancy. Mapaka was just straight and pretty full at those stumps. Copeland trying to play the paddle sweep and just straight up the short-term man.
Yeah, just chipped to Mureki. He's gone for 21 years Copeland from his 22 deliveries. Just a 3-4s to his name. Christian Jonker, seriously experienced campaign, 124 matches thus far with a strike rate of 129.5. His highest score coming against the Knights in Kimberley many seasons ago.
Yeah, Christian Jonker can be very destructive. He has played T20 cricket for South Africa, ODIs and T20 cricket for South Africa, 2 games each. That was when he was at the peak of his career, but he's aged 37 years old now, and perhaps in the twilight, but still someone the Lions will respect greatly, because if he gets going with Yaneman Malan, then the next 114 runs that the Rocks need to win might come into view a bit.
And he might be eyeing up the youngster. Short boundary to the leg side. Favourite of his. Can hit a long ball. Mapaka will be fired up here.
Oh.
Might have nearly got 2 and 2 there. Took a little bit of a tickle, and they'll come through for leg buys.
Probably the question I've been asked most about Kwena Mapaka is how quick is he? People are always fascinated by youngsters, how quickly they can bowl. And I think it's fair to say, looking at this game, obviously we've seen Mapaka bowl before, but here he is bowling against seniors, experienced cricketers, and he is clearly quick enough.
That's a short-arm jab out there, and he's got protection on the onside. So just the single for it.
Both Yaneman Malan and Christian Jonker have shown signs of being beaten for pace by Kwena Mapaka. And presumably, he's only 17 now, he'll be quicker when he reaches 21, 22 years old. What an exciting prospect.
Again, beaten for pace. Jonker not too certain about that one. And the crucial thing, I think, Ken, is for any young fast bowler is management of his overs, because everybody will be pulling him in multiple directions, club and school and Lions and any other competition that he may have been roped in. And so it's such an important thing for the team here at the Wanderers, but also through Cricket South Africa, just to manage his workload. Bowlers' workloads is such a complex subject. Oh, and he's beat him again. He thought he would send him 10 rows back.
Yeah, absolutely, David. As you say, player management, especially for young fast bowlers, absolutely crucial. We don't want them getting skeletal problems like stress fractures and that sort of thing. Kwena Mapaka has said that this being in his matric year, that his focus is going to be his studies.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, quite right. Then he's hoping next year to become a regular in the Lions team.
Better response there from Malan. He just dinks this away onto the onside. It's the end of 13. It's 1-1-4 for 4.
So the Rocks need 110 more runs to win this game, with 42 overs left. The Lions perhaps
42 balls left.
will be 42 plus overs. No,
I thought you were giving us
42
an
balls
extended
left.
game
Yeah.
here, extended opportunity.
42 balls left. The Lions will presumably be eyeing out a bonus point. We'll just quickly work that out for you, what the what they have to limit the rocks
What the connotations are, yes, yeah.
to get a bonus point.
Tomorrow, the ladies are taking on the 6-gun claw badges, the DP World Lions ladies, right here at the DP World Wanderers. Tomorrow from 10 a.m. for the 50 over game.
So I make it 180 that the Lions have to restrict the rocks to get a bonus point.
Rabada in again. Down the wicket came Milan, trying to upset the length maybe, or disturb Rabada, who's not easily swayed. And they'll get 1 for it.
And he also came down the wicket sort of outside leg stump, I think trying to access the big gap over extra cover. So 180 means that the Rocks need to score less than 65 runs in the next 41 deliveries.
It looked uncomfortable. That looked like something that the physio is not going to be able to help him with. It's always funny when it's not you.
Yeah, he's gone down now. Poor Christian Jonker.
Feeling lightheaded, I'm sure. I think we're going to have a slight delay here as the physio tries to sympathize with him, or even empathize with him, but there's not much the physio is able to do. But Kagiso Rabada just making life uncomfortable for him.
Just there are 3 other T20 challenge games going on around the country at the moment, and just to let you know what's happening in those, looks like there's going to be a good game on the go at SuperSport Park just up the road. The Titans only managed 169 for 7 in their 20 overs, and at the moment the Northwest Dragons are 96 for 3, so they need 74 runs in the next 10 overs. Certainly on track for what would be a surprise victory there. The Dolphins restricted Western Province to 148 for 8 at Kingsmead, and they are 86 for 4 in the 14th over, so that could also get very tight. And a real low scoring game at St George's Park, where the Warriors were bowled out for 125 by the KZN Inland Tuskers, but the Warriors have now reduced KZN Inland to 77 for 8. So still 51 runs needed for the Tuskers for what would be a big shock result. Marco Jansen took 3 cheap wickets up front, and then spinner CSA T20 has taken 3 as well for the Warriors.
The Tuskers don't have an easy task, do they? They've got Jansen and Norkia bowling to them. Norkia with 3 overs 0 for 10. So yes, Jansen has been getting the wickets, but Norkia, who's been starved of cricket this season, back in the mix of things.
I dare say he created a bit of pressure at his end.
Awkward play at that one, just catching the shoulder of the bat.
Backing away a bit, Yanaman Milan.
It's a crucial period of play here to try and see out Kagiso Rabada for this spell.
Well, they can't really afford to see him out because the required rate is 16.6. So they've got to try and get a boundary or 2 off him while they're not allowing him any wickets.
The question is where?
It's a very, very tough ask, yeah. And Rabada's got all the tricks. You saw the slower ball bouncer there. I guess extra cover is what Yanaman Milan has been thinking about, trying to give himself room going outside leg stump. But Rabada's too good for him at the moment.
It's overpitched and flicked away. There's protection out there in Mitchell van Buren. They'll come back handsomely in the end for 2. Just 2 balls left in this over, and there'll be a change after the over as Ken and Hussein Manak will take you home with this game.
Yeah, well, at least to the end of the game.
Yes.
We're not offering a
lift service.
Taxi service.
Yes, yeah. Comes down the wicket and chases him, does Rabada. It's just the intelligence of the cricketer. There's a mix-up at the striker's end, and they don't get the run-out in the end.
To step the Bavuma again, they insist on running to him. He's one of the better fielders in the country. Fortunately, fortunately, Michael Copeland was sent back there just in time. So 14 overs gone, 119 for 4, and the Rocks need 105 more to win in the last 6 overs. It's going to take something very special. But Yanaman Malan is set on 60 not out, and Christian Jonker has a reputation for big hitting. He's on 2. And welcome back to Hussein Manak.
Thank you very much, Ken, and to David. Lions look like they're on course at the moment, Ken, for their first victory.
It's the bonus point on, you think? They need to restrict them to 180. I think they're going to need to take a few wickets to get that bonus point as Fontaine continues. There's protection out there for the sweep, both in front of square and behind square.
They'll probably be pushing for it because, you never know with rained out matches and stuff like that.
I think if you get into a position where it's on the table and where you're almost certain to win the game, you should try your utmost to try and get that bonus point. I guess if they can get these 2 out, then they can really focus on that. Oh, nearly chopped on by Jonker. Bjorn Fortuyn's final over. He's just gone for 18 runs and the important wicket of Clyde Fortuyn. Long on will come into play with that one.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, you almost feel as a batter, it's unfair for a batter to come in when the asking rate is like this. There's no opportunity for a batter to get himself in, take a few balls, and you just got to almost hit the boundary a ball.
Oh, set straight down to long on. He's got it. Yanaman Malan came dancing down the wicket and didn't really go through with the shot totally. I wonder if he was beaten by the flight a bit. But Evan Jones has taken a very nicely judged catch at long on.
Yes, you're right. You do feel like he didn't quite go through with it. I think if he really went through with it and played a nice full swing, he may have cleared that boundary. It's almost like a little bit of a chip, and he stopped on the shot at some stage. He maybe misjudged the length, or the ball may have stopped, or it may have been a little slower than expected. But nonetheless, that's a huge wicket because Yanaman Malan was playing quite nicely, and he was together with Jonker. Of course, that's the partnership that I think the Rocks needed to go on for a bit longer.
Yeah, massive wicket. With all due respect to those to follow, Fariska Adams is the new man in. He's won games with the bat before, but I'm not sure there's been as many as 103 needed to win.
In 5 overs.
Yes. So Bjorn Fortuyn has his second wicket, and that required rate is up to 19.3, and the DLS pass score 162. So that's 41 runs more than where the Rocks find themselves on 121 for 5.
I have to say, Ken, I think with this Lions team, he's off the mark. This Lions team with all the approaches in and all available to play now, I look at a formidable unit. I know Rabada's probably going to leave at some stage for the IPL. Is anybody else leaving? Is it just him?
No, well, I think that's it. That Kakisa Rabada will be pretty much the only guy who they lose.
Because the rest of the squad stays pretty much intact. That's a dangerous looking unit.
Very, and they're in form. They have confidence, having won the 4-day cup. A lot of their players did very well in the SA20. It's all a far cry from how they started the season. Their opening 1-day cup game was against the KZN Inland Tuskers in Pietermaritzburg, and they got absolutely rolled by the team that was promoted to Division 1 this year. So I think there might have been a bit of caution in the Lions camp about taking on one of the so-called minnows in Division 1, the Rocks, at the start of a white ball competition again. But so far it's all gone according to plan for the Lions, and I think it's testament to how the team has grown under new coach Russell Domingo, and of course his star-studded coaching team that includes Hashim Amla and Alan Donald.
Seppo Moreki.
But we've seen both Christian Jonker and Janeman Milan before him quite often kind of step outside leg stump, and I get it, trying to access the offside, but it seems like a bit like that's almost been their only play.
I think the important thing with T20 cricket as a batter, you need options, and the more options you have, the easier it is to score runs, the easier it is to keep the scoreboard ticking, but also the easier it is to score boundaries in different areas.
That's a good thump, and I think it's gone all the way for 6. Frisco Adams frees the arms.
Yeah, he does free the arms, and he went through with this, didn't he? He didn't stop on it like we said, Janeman Malan. He went through with the stroke and really committed to the shot. It wasn't quite there. It wasn't a half volley by any means. It was bowled back of a length into the surface, and maybe a little bit of width off it, but he did hit this very, very well and deliberately went over the top. So 6 much needed runs.
Yeah, not an easy shot against a skiddy quick bowler like Chepa Mareki, but Frisco Adams on the up there, just showing what a strong hitter he is. And again, pulled this time, it's massive, into the crowd of Lions supporters, close to the tunnel. 6 more for Adams, back-to-back 6s.
Wow, that is a majestic shot. It really crunched that. It was just slightly short of length. And my word, he's hit that over the long boundary, mid-wicket into the stands and out of the middle. Immense power in that shot, I can tell you. He really hit it cleanly. Wonderful to see.
Phenomenal stroke. And it keeps the required rate just under 20, 19.6. 88 to win of 27 balls. Now down towards long on, he hasn't got all of it. Rabada's backpedaling over his head. 6 more.
Wow, Frisco Adams. He's just hit 3 6s on the trot, and he's hit all of them really well out of the middle of the bat. I mean, this one here, what a split second. I mean, we're sitting right here where Rabada is, and I thought that had gone straight up and was going to be caught, and it just kept sailing.
I honestly thought Rabada was in business there.
Really yeah.
And I think he did too, and then realised he had to backpedal, and over his head it went. Fantastic striking by Frisco Adams.
Really imposing himself here at the moment.
And now another pull. Powerful, 1 bounce 4. Into the Lions dugout.
Wow. Tell you what.
They say 1 over can change the game in 2020 cricket. And who knows, this might be it.
There's just 4 overs remaining after this. Jonker can hit the long ball. Frisco Adams, we've seen, certainly can. And,
I'll make that 25 off the over so far.
Just 25 balls remaining.
Yeah, 78 to win. And the rate required, it was touching 20 at the start of this over. It's down now to 18.7.
That's almost impossible, isn't it? I mean, like, but if you keep going at this rate,
they'll get there with something to spare.
Yeah.
Well, it was down the leg side, and lucky that Adams got a pad to it. Not lucky for the batsman because he's been hurt, hobbling.
Yeah, I think that's maybe missed the pad, or maybe struck him on the side of the pad. Maybe he's down, he's in pain.
It sounded
really
quite paddy,
struggling.
but I wonder, as you say, if he got the inside of the knee and a bit of pad at the same time.
He's in pain.
Inside of the knee is not a nice place.
Yeah, well, all he can do now, Ken, is just stand and deliver. There's no need to run. It doesn't matter whether he runs or not at the moment. Those singles are not going to count.
Beware the injured cricketer.
Yes.
Yeah, he, as you say, he can just stand there and swing for the rafters. So that's the end of the 16th over, 147 for 5. Poor old Chepo Mareki has gone for 55 runs now in his 3 overs. And I'm not sure he will get another over, but he's heading into record territory as far as the Lions go, because they're most expensive.
Well, the problem then, somebody needs to bowl that 5th over of these, or 4th over of these. How many is he bowled? He's bowled 3.
Rabada's got 1, Jones has got 1, Parker's got 1. Yeah, no, you're right.
There's 1 over. There's 1. So he's got to either finish, and as you correctly said, Muller's probably injured. That's why he's not bowling.
It would be a big ask to bring Mulder on for 1 over.
Just for 1 over. So maybe Reza Hendricks or somebody come and turn the arm over for an over.
Yeah, again, spin it to death. It would be brave.
Would be brave. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a meeting going on among the think tank of the Lions. You've got Bavuma involved there, the South African skipper. You've got the Lions skipper, Fortain, and then Evan Jones. Rickleton was in there at some stage. He's moved away now to.
I guess the debate is about who bowls which over.
Yes.
They seem to have settled on Evan Jones. Just that record, the unwanted record for the most runs conceded in an innings by the Lions, was 4 overs for 56 runs. Vian Mulder against the Titans here at the Wanderers in 2016-17. So Mariki's only got 1 run to play with, I'm afraid. So Evan Jones, long off has gone back, long on is back, cow quarter is back. There's a deep cover as well, and deep backward point. Risa Rabada is taking big steps backward towards the boundary there. Adams slices again. Rabada, no, it wasn't going to reach him. Keeps it to just a single. For the Lions, I mean, they're quite happy to concede 1s or 2s. That's not.
I think 1s and 2s are not going to hurt them at all at this stage. It's really boundaries they need to protect, and every boundary they stop of every delivery that doesn't go for a boundary, that required run rate will just climb. It's still under 20, miraculously.
Down to long off for 1 by Yonker.
That's really the plan, isn't it, Cameron? You've got a short boundary and a long boundary. The plan is to try and hide the ball away from the short boundary, because that's easier to try and easier to hit 6s. So Jones doing a good job. 2 balls wide outside off stump, which are both hit for 1 into the long side of the field.
Again, outside off stump. Bowler was excited, and someone in the crowd heard something as well.
May have been a bit of an edge, but didn't quite carry. It's through to Rickleton.
Good bowling again by Jones, as you say, well outside that off stump. Oh, that's very clever by Evan Jones. He just refused to bowl. Frisco Adams stepped outside the off stump as if to say, right, I'm going to hit you over cow corner if you keep bowling there. And Evan Jones just very simply refused to let go of the ball. As is his right. Here he is again. Bowls there again. Good hit by Adams, but not good enough to beat long off on the bounce.
It could be that what Frisco Adams was trying to do is just get as wide as he can outside the off stump, and then ramp it over fine leg or short fine leg, or over anywhere over the leg side. But Jones stopped him in his tracks and didn't release the ball.
Yeah, depending on the length, he could target cow corner, or as you say, over fine leg. Joe just making a subtle adjustment to his backward square leg. Heaved across the line. Has he got enough to beat cow corner? Yes, he does. 6 to Christian Jonker, his first boundary.
Yeah, that was wide outside off stump. Length ball. He's actually fetched it from outside off stump and hit it over mid wicket, just clearing the fielder on that mid wicket boundary.
It was a good strike on the slog sweep, as you say, from well outside off stump. And as that's edged, everyone, the Lions, no, Rickerton seems to be telling the bowler no. Not a wicket, but a valuable dot ball for the Lions. 17 overs gone, 156 for 5. So the victory is probably not going to happen for the Rocks. Evan Jones finishes with 2 for 34 in his 4 overs. What a fantastic return to senior domestic action for him. 2 wickets in his first over, and he has left the Rocks needing 68 off the last 3 overs to win. And just in terms of the bonus point for the Lions, they need to restrict the Rocks to 24 or less in these last 3 overs. So it's going to be Kwena Mapaka to finish his bowling stint. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 18 so far. An impressive effort by the young man. He's got deep cover and pace. He's going to be bowling left arm over to Fariska Adams. Oh, lovely. No, he's bowled him.
Oh, is he bowled him? It looked like a deflection of the pad or the bat or something that went for 4.
I thought Adams had got that away, the reverse paddle, but then he just kept on walking to the dugout. Mapaka has bowled him. He's got his 2nd wicket, and it's an important one. Fariska Adams bowled for 25 off just 10 balls.
Yeah, I must say, I'm a little surprised at the option that Fariska Adams took, because in the previous over of Moreki, I mean, he hit some blistering strokes. Over long on, over mid-wicket, over deep square leg, and massive 6s as well, clean hits. And then to try and play the little ramp, I don't know, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it made sense in the sense that the fine leg and third man are up, so you get the ramp, you just get something on it, it's gone. I mean, he was hitting it so nicely. You know?
So clean, yeah. And to me, start the over with what you've been doing well.
Correct, and go full face of the bat. Really just hit the ball, you know.
If the over hasn't gone well and you desperately need a boundary, then try and manufacture something. But that brings Hardest Viljoen to the crease. He's become a better and better batter through the years. I noticed that the Rocks do now call him an all-rounder in their team releases. They've made it official. We know he can hit a long ball though, Hardest Viljoen. A big man. Good Yorker by Mapaka to start. They'll only get 1. 67 needed off 16 balls by the Rocks. And Christian Jonker on 12 not out. Well, he's going to have to do something miraculous now, one feels.
Yeah, he has. I mean, Hardest Viljoen also, I do remember seeing him hit some long balls. So he does have the ability. And they're going to have to do a lot at the moment just to get close.
Pride rate is 25.1 to the over. Overpitched that time. Same place, same result, just a single. Someone celebrating a birthday at the Wanderers tonight. The band just serenading them. It's I suppose it's a reasonable crowd, you're saying? A few hundred people here, I would guess.
Yeah, it's a decent buzz, decent energy, and if you live in the Joburg area, come and watch the Lions. Not today, it's too late, but certainly the next game.
Oh, I was going to say they're a very entertaining team. And what is more entertaining than a fast bowler knocking over the stumps, beautifully bowled by Kwena Mapaka. He castles Hardest Viljoen, who is out 2nd ball for 1.
Yeah, I must say that looked like it was the cutter, the leg cutter. It looked like he rolled his fingers over the ball. Even then, the middle stump went flying and cartwheeling out the ground. And as you say, no better sight for a fast bowler. So the young man has had a good day out here for the Lions, and he's did what he needed to do. He's bowled well, he's bowled in good areas, he's bowled quick as well.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you at the end of the over what you thought about Kwena Mapaka's performance, but no need to. A glowing endorsement from Hussein Manak, who has been in the game for many years as a provincial player, as a coach, as a selector, and no doubt Kwena Mapaka has fulfilled expectations here at the DP World Wanderers Stadium. 3 wickets for him, and he's conceded just 20 runs with 2 balls left in his 4th over. And he is just 17 years old. On Monday morning he will be back at school in his matric year. Imran Manak is the new batsman. So now the bonus point has come back, I think, into view with 7
contention.
down. Manak again. The Yorker from Mapaka, well bowled. Manak played it well though, got it away through mid-wicket. We saw this at under 19 level from Kwena Mapaka. It just shows you what a promising bowler he is, that with the new ball he's able to bowl length, allow swing and seam to do their bit, and he returns at the death and is very good at finding the block hole. That's rather awkwardly tucked away by Christian Jonker, but he will get a single. It ends the 18th over, and a highly satisfying evening for Kwena Mapaka. 4 overs, 3 for 22. The Rocks are 160 for 7, so the win is long gone. But if the Lions can restrict them to less than 180 in these last 2 overs, the Lions will take home a bonus point, and that will be a very pleasing start to the competition.
It will indeed. It's lovely to get off to a good positive start, and they're in a good space at the moment, having just won the 4-day competition as well. And I mean, just trying to recall that final as well, that 4-day final, they showed a lot of fight, didn't they? Because I mean, at one stage, Ken, I thought they were going to be beaten in 3 days. And the fight they showed to come back from a precarious position they were in both innings.
Yeah, they were.
Still then bowled Western Province out in the end. It was quite remarkable.
Absolutely incredible. One of the most amazing games I've watched, certainly, as the amazing Kajita Rabada is bowling the penultimate over. And that will be at least 1, maybe 2 to the cover sweeper. No. He's got the excellent Mitchell van Buren out there patrolling. Yeah, the Lions were 35 for 5. Lost the toss on the first morning, had to bat under floodlights, 35 for 5 on the first morning, and still went on to win the game. Nice by Rabada, right at the block hole, but the batsman's going to get lucky. Imran Manak. He'll say he did well to get back on it. It's evaded Mareki at short fine leg and goes away for 4. And in their second innings, the Lions were 113 for 6. So they were only 26 ahead with 6 wickets down. And quite the amazing innings by Delano Potkina, who scored 81 in the first innings and 155 not out in the second for a famous victory. Bottom edge to the keeper. This victory might not be quite as famous, but it's going to be a convincing one with 59 needed to win with just 9 balls left.
The other thing that I think we also must add is that this is a long competition, isn't it? It's 14 games. It's a long, so it's not like the other competitions. So, you know, it's important to get as many wins as you can under the belt, because you never know what later on in the competition can happen. That's going to be called a wide. And I mean, we see it often with the IPL where teams start off brilliantly. We saw it in the SA T20 where Western Province, the Mumbai, Cape Town.
Yeah.
I mean, they started with an absolute bang. And you know, when the tournament's longish, it can also turn, because it's not easy to just continue that good form all the time. So at some stage you feel they may lose a game or 2 here and there.
Dugout, good tumbling save by Bavuma at cover, just a single. So if the Lions do get a bonus point out of this game, it's likely that they're going to be, well, pretty certain that they're going to be top of the log, because the other games underway tonight in Division 1, there are 3 games. None of those look like they're going to deliver bonus points. They're all quite close games, in fact, with, that's just another dot ball. Classy Robardo rubbing it in here. So the Dragons need 47 to win with 4 wickets in hand and 5.5 overs. So that's definitely on the cards there. That could be a close finish. The Dolphins need 19 off 8 balls to beat Western Province. But they're 7 wickets down. So that is in the balance. That's well done to get that to square leg by Yonka, but only a single. And we have one result already. Eastern Province have beaten the Tuskers by 37 runs, defending a total of 125. And Kisa Rabada has finished with none for 31 in his 4 overs. Very tidy by the champion paceman.
So Moreki is going to bowl his 4th over.
Yeah,
and it will be the final over of the innings.
He has 56 to defend, which is only 1 more than he's conceded in his 3 overs so far.
They're going to allow him to break the record. Give him the opportunity.
I suppose also, he could be the man who delivers the bonus point if he can concede.
Yes, absolutely right.
Less than 12 in this over. And we make it by our calculations, and the Lions will get a bonus point. So fine leg is going back. There's a deep point in place, cow corner, a deep backward square leg, and a long on, and Temba Bavuma's jogging back to long off. So lots of protection for Tepa Bareki, bowling to Christian Yonka on 16. And it was a bad ball and equally bad fielding down on the boundary by Kisa Rabada. Poor old Tepa Bareki, and that now gives him the record for the most expensive bowling for Lions in T20 cricket. Might cost the Lions a bonus point as well. Swing and a miss.
And also, let's just turn this around and look at it from a slightly different perspective. The Rocks are scoring at 9 per over at the moment, right? And they're sitting on 172, so they end up on about 180. That's a decent total. So they weren't chasing such a big total, and they managed to somehow keep the Lions down to about 180, 190, or under 200. This may have been a very good game, or a very tight, evenly tight contest.
It's been a decent effort by the Rocks. Oh, that's going to be a wide. The average score here, batting first in the day-night game is 155. So getting 180 is a good score, clearly. And in fact, there have only been 3 totals batting second here at the Wanderers of more than 180. 182 for 8, 192 and 193 for 4 is the record batting second. So exactly what you were saying, Hussein Manak, as that's smeared across the line for just a single.
We also look at that, just if we go back and look at that that Rocks attack, you somehow look at the attack and you go like, I feel they one seamer light there somewhere along the line. Like you've got Hardus Falun, who's the one quick, then Fareska Adams is medium pace, he was all slower deliveries. And Nyaka is also kind of medium quick, young bowler. So there's not much else. The rest are spin, you know. So they depend heavily on their spinners, and that can work on the slow pitches up in the ball hunt.
Another wide. Yeah, we spoke about it at the start of the match that we felt the Rocks, well, certainly I felt the Rocks were going with their strengths, but sometimes you do need to adapt to the conditions you're playing in. There was some debate about whether the Lions should have played a second spinner, but you know, the pacemen have done an excellent job for them. Bjorn Fortuyn, but he knows probably best how to bowl here as a spinner. He's had a good evening too. 2 for 21 in his 4 overs. Manak has worked that nicely. Just a 1 there. So the last runs, 48 needed off the last 2 deliveries, provided they're not no balls or wides. And 4 runs we make it for the bonus point. So can Chepo Mareki deliver that for the Lions? No, probably not. It's a good heave by Jonker. Mitchell van Buren is across quickly to keep it down to 2.
Final delivery. And what did you say that bonus point target was? Ken, was it 181?
180.
180.
And the most expensive bowling ever in this competition is 69 runs in 4 overs. So Mareki is 4 away from that. He won't want that record. And he should be safe as it's down to...
And Iman Manak's coming back for the second, and they'll get it. They've managed to get the 2 runs of the last ball. Now, Ken, does that mean that Lions don't get the bonus?
I think so.
Because it got to 180.
Yeah, I think they had to restrict them to less than 180. Not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But 180 for 7. The important thing is that the DP World Lions have won their opening CSA T20 challenge game by a comfortable 43 runs. The Rocks batting, well, Janeman Malan scored 61 of 41 balls. There were a couple of useful contributions from Michael Copeland, 21. Christian Jonker finished 25 not out. Frisco Adams hit 3 sixes and scoring 25 off 10. But there was just not enough here to seriously challenge what was a really powerful Lions batting lineup, and a mighty total they put up of 223 for 5.
Yeah, I must say, I've seen a bit of Christian Jonker before, and he doesn't look in the best of nick. And it's the first game of the competition, so perhaps maybe he'll find his rhythm and start hitting the ball cleaner. But also you've got to really feel for the batters, as I said earlier, that to come in, the asking rate is 11 from the start, and that run rate just keeps climbing. It's really not easy. There's absolutely, as a batter, you're in a hiding to nothing to start with. You're really up against it to keep scoring at that particular run rate, and then you're facing Kagiso Rabada in the first over, and you're facing Bjorn Fortuyn and all the rest of the Proteas. So it wasn't an easy task for the Rocks, but as we mentioned, they managed to hit a 179, or was it 180?
180. Well,
that's 179 on the scoreboard now.
The scoreboard has now changed. They've gone backwards a couple of deliveries and changed the total to 179 for 7 on the scoreboard. On our other scoreboard, we have 180. So I'm afraid we don't have any clarity on the bonus point situation. The Lions have won by 43 or 44 runs. Depending on who you believe, and it was a very tidy bowling effort by the Lions. Kagiso Rabada, just 31 runs in his 4 overs. Bjorn Fortuyn, classy as ever, 4 overs, 2 for 21. Evan Jones, coming into the side, 2 for 34 in his 4 overs. And Gwena Mapaka, a wonderful T20 debut for him for the Lions, 3 for 22 in his 4 overs. Paul Chepa Mareki conceded 67 runs in his 4 overs, but probably bowled a little bit better than that. Was a bit unlucky on a few occasions. So, Hussein Manak, any last thoughts as the covers come on here at the Wanderers?
I think from my side, it's really good start for the Lions, who really look for me, a formidable unit. They look like favourites at the moment. Of course, there's some good teams in this competition, but they certainly, with all the approaches available, they're looking forward. And let's not forget, it's a T20 World Cup year, so the players have come out of a lot of these guys have come out of an SA20 competition where they've really fine-tuned the game. Some of these guys like Rassi and Riza, they've come back from the PSL. They've been playing T20 cricket, so they can play some of these shots and T20 cricket in their sleep. So they're in great nick at the moment. So the Lions really do have, I think, they're looking like right from the start like favourites. But I mean, listen, it's a long competition, as I said, 14 games. You know, it's not going to be easy to maintain good form for 14 games. At some stage, you're going to have a hiccup, and then the other teams, there's some good teams around as well. So I think it all makes for a fascinating competition. I think the Rocks have a decent unit, but you know, away from home, it's not easy. Remember, the last 2 T20 competitions were played in a bubble, weren't they? One was in Potch and one was in Port Elizabeth, and those venues suited teams like the Rocks. It suited them with they played 2-3 spinners. The batters were used to playing in those conditions on those type of wickets, and they did reasonably well, I thought, in the last 2. So, but suddenly it's a different ball game. It's going to be home and away, coming here on the Highveld where there's bounce and pace, and it's totally different. But credit to them, I think, to get to 179, 180 is not bad at all.
Yeah, and the good news for the Rocks is that they are at home for the next fixture, which is on Sunday against the other Highveld team, the Titans. And the Lions, they will stay on the Highveld but travel just down the road to Potchefstroom, where they take on the Dragons. And we'll have live coverage of both of those games, and as well as the match between Western Province and the Tuskers from Newlands. So do join us then. Good night from me, and good night from Hussein Manak.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ken.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
shot Hussein.